preview. I think we are up and running and we are live. Lovely. Let's jump over to the preview screen. Just need to get the thing on screen. There we go. Lovely. So, yes, Giulia speaks. She speaks after being crowned the winner of the Women's Iron Survivor. So here we can see a breakdown of tonight's show. Giulia speaks after becoming the Women's Iron Survivor at Deadline. Men's Iron Survivor Obafemi is going to appear. Javon Evans takes on Wes Lee. Gigi Dolan teams with Tatum Paxley against JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. So we knew about this. In fact, we knew about these. But it's just that Gigi and Oba are going to appear. But yeah, we knew about those matches before. They were both, I believe, announced. I believe they were both announced on Deadline. I don't know that we had it confirmed that it was Oba that attacked Eddie Thorp. I don't know if we've got that mystery still to solve or if it was just Oba that attacked him so that he could get into the match. It actually might not be. It might turn out that it wasn't him. And so we might still have that mystery that we need to get our teeth into. One of the other mysteries that we're going to have to try and get our teeth into is who called out to Andre Chase. Andre Chase obviously was walking down that corridor. Someone called out his name. We need to find out who that was and what is next for Duke Hudson, for Thea Hale, for Andre Chase. We need to get our teeth into all of that. So plenty going on in NXT, even though we are now past Deadline. There is still plenty going on, and we know that we're building towards New Year's Evil. So let me get rid of that. Lovely. Hello. Kian said, I hope you are well and I hope you had a good day and how you enjoyed Unseen. I thought Raw was a little bit meh. I can't wait for NXT tonight, especially if Lola is on the show. I can't wait for Saturday night's main event. Let's go. James Chadwick, hello. Hope you're well. Kian, yes, I also can't wait for Saturday night's main event. We are obviously live for that this weekend. It is our main focus on Saturday, so we'll be live hours before that starts. I don't know if there's a countdown show, to be honest. I have not seen any. I need to look into that. I might jot that down. In fact, I need to set that stream up, so I'm going to put that on my jobs list. Saturday night's main event setup. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's a countdown show. I also had people getting in touch concerned because they're in Canada and they were worried. They weren't sure how they were going to watch it. I don't know if we got any answer on that. I did put out a tweet just asking our Canadian friends, do you lot know how to watch it in Canada? Because we found out how to watch it in the UK. In the UK, you've got to go to WWE's YouTube channel. But I'm not sure about Canada. And there is a lot of people that join us from Canada. So I'd like to try and find an answer for them. Again, apparently Sportsnet Plus have said they're not carrying it. WWE said check with your local provider. Sportsnet Plus have said they're not carrying it. So I've got people that are quite confused in Canada. So if you are Canadian and you know the answer to this, let us know. Let us know. Daze, your thoughts. Okay, my thoughts. What is the best storyline in the early 90s, says Hannah. Best storyline in the early 90s. Well, that's interesting question. The first thing that comes to my mind, and actually I think we spoke about it the other day, is Macho Man. And we were talking about Macho Man's story going from when he loses the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 3, going all the way through to when he comes back from retiring, is an amazing story because he is Intercontinental Champion, obviously loses it to Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, Then, of course, he goes into the tournament to win the championship, the WWE Championship, WWF at the time, at WrestleMania 4. Wins it there. Then, of course, we get the Mega Powers. Mega Powers explode because of jealousy. And then, of course, at WrestleMania 5, we get Macho Man against his former tag partner, Hulk Hogan. At WrestleMania 5, Macho Man losing that championship. He goes on to become the Macho King, and he kind of turns heel. He's heel in that process, of course, when he faces Hogan. Elizabeth is out. Sensational Sherry is in. And so then he goes on this run as a heel. And it all builds up to him against Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 7, and it's a loser has to retire match. And Macho loses to the Ultimate Warrior. Sensational Sherry turns her back on the Macho Man, and in the crowds is Miss Elizabeth. And that moment where she jumps over the railing and actually grabs Sensational Sherry, like drags her off the Macho Man, like chucks her out the ring, and the crowd are going crazy because Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man are about to reunite after he turned his back on her, turned heel, like, you know, faced Hogan at WrestleMania 5, had a feud with Dusty Rhodes. He was the Macho King. She was the Sensational Queen, Sherry. And Miss Elizabeth was on the outside. Them reuniting and, you know, basically going off into the sunset is a hell of a story, really, from, like, that builds, like, all the way through, like, quite a number of years. And then, of course, he gets married at SummerSlam with the match made in heaven. And so that's amazing. I mean, that's just amazing. A wedding at SummerSlam. They were already married by that point. But they get married. And then at the wedding reception, that's where Jake the Snake and Undertaker actually attack. And Macho is so desperate to go after them and dish out revenge, Jack Tunney actually reinstates him, and the Macho Man is then back. So for me, that's probably the best story, like 90 to 95. There's other ones. I mean, you know, you've got Bret Hart. I mean, Bret and Owen and that situation. I enjoyed the Lex Express and him and Yokozuna and, you know, him turning into a good guy. I mean, I enjoyed that story. You know, the rise of Ultimate Warrior, 1990, Warrior and Hogan. I enjoyed that. The Ultimate Challenge. Ric Flair coming over with the championship belts. And, you know, us building to Flair Hogan, which we never got at WrestleMania. But him coming over, bringing the real world championship. All of that was really, really good stuff. But I think for me, that Macho story, him and Elizabeth, and getting back together again, and the match made in heaven, like story-wise, I love that journey. So I'd probably go with that. Al said CM Punk ghosted Seth. Maybe Punk just needed some time alone. Everyone in life goes through a phase of time where they need some space, nothing to get peeved off about and show disrespect. I think that CM Punk was definitely off with WWE and WWE superstars. It was very clear that he was just done with that company and maybe even those people, right? I can't speak for him. I don't know exactly what he was up to, you know? I don't know, like, where his head was at, who he was meeting up with, who he was in communication with. But, yeah, he can use that as an excuse. But to be honest, I think if he turned around and said, that was a chapter of my life I was done with, I needed distance from, I needed a brand new start, and I was looking at UFC for being that for me. Because don't forget, he went off to do that, right? That's what he went into. So for him to shut that chapter, shut that door, go into UFC, put all his attention into that, like, I think fans could understand that, you know? I think I wonder if this is a way of getting him to sort of explain himself to the fans. Because there are still fans out there, I wouldn't say many, but there are fans out there that sort of share the same sentiment as Seth. You know, this is a guy that hated WWE. For years, he bashed WWE. He was not a fan of the product. He had plenty of negative things to say about his time there. Let's not forget when he went to AEW, he spoke about the fact that, you know, he left wrestling basically when he joined WWE, but now he's back in wrestling. Like, if you saw some of his AEW comments, shots and shade was being thrown in WWE's direction, right? So maybe this is a way of sort of addressing some of that. Maybe this is a way of getting him to talk about some of that. And I think the answers are going to be very, very interesting. I think there is a way of answering it, as you've just said. You know, some people need time, they need space. But then equally, he has made comments. And do you know what? I also think people would understand if he turned around and went, I was angry. I was hurt. And I was angry. I was bitter. And, you know, it showed itself. I'm not sorry for that, but I don't look back on some of my comments with, you know, fondness. I love where I am now. I'm in the place I'm meant to be, and I'm the person that I'm meant to be. And I think if he was to word it like that, I think people would be like, yeah, cool. I think we can all sympathize with that. So I think it's bold to have Seth bring this up because it's going to force some sort of a response. And I'm very interested to see how CM Punk responds. But I think there's lots of things that he can say that I think the fans will accept as being acceptable answers for these questions. Yeah, interesting, because we were thinking and talking about that, you know. Yesterday when it was happening live. Hasib said, Daze, you'll 100% disagree. That's okay. But I believe the Wyatt 6 will be the next retribution. They won't make it to the summer of 2026, in my opinion. I don't feel like this because of yesterday, but since the start, said Hasib. Okay. Dean said, it feels like the writers are trying to mess with the Wyatts. You're right, Carrion is killing it in the promos, but then they make the Wyatts lose on Monday. Is this a possible end? No. I don't believe it's an end, right? The way that I look at the loss isn't a problem. I really don't have any problem with the loss. If you look at my reaction when they lost, I wasn't crying, there was no drama. I was absolutely fine with it. I've seen enough wrestling and enough feuds to know that you win and lose fights, and ultimately it's about who wins in the end, right? If they was to just win all their matches and then like win everything, people would soon get bored of that. Like, that would have its own problems. We would be sat here with people saying, I'm so bored of the Wyatts just, you know, battering everyone. So, I mean, you could go down that road and you'd still have people complaining. So that's not an issue for me. I have no problems with the loss. The manner of the loss is a concern, a big concern, because I think you made Howdy look too weak. I think that at the time watching it, I was pleased that there was a reason for the loss. But, you know, as you reflect on it, you think he shouldn't have been put away that easily. I said this in the review and opinions video on the second channel. He shouldn't have been put away that easily. Howdy should have had more resistance to, you know, what went down. You know, if one finishing move, if something in the eyes and a finishing move is going to result in him losing, I just don't know that you are really making him out to be as special as we really want him to be, you know? It's all right him not being supernatural. I mean, you know, I'm a big fan of them not going down those roads. It's all right with him not being supernatural, but it is something completely different to make him so easily beatable, right? So I don't think this is the beginning of the end or all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is, this is a loss, and it's fine. Everyone loses. The Fiend lost. The Fiend lost inside Hell in a Cell. He lost to Goldberg. Still continued telling stories after The Fiend after that, and people were still desperate to see The Fiend after that, even though he suffered those losses. So, I mean, they can absolutely survive this loss. It's no problem at all. But whatever they come back with better be badass. Like, we are sort of getting to the point where, in a fight, when you're in a boxing match, you see a fighter and they're losing rounds. You sort of get to that moment in the fight, maybe round 8, round 9, where there's not loads of rounds left. And it's like, well, they can't just keep having good rounds. It's not going to be enough. They won't win the fight if they just have good rounds. Like, we're getting to the point now in this fight where they're going to need a finish. They're going to need a knockout. If you join us for our MMA streams, if a fighter loses the first 2 rounds, quite often in round 3, we're like, I think such and such needs a finish in this round. If they win this round, they'll lose it on the scorecards 2 rounds to 1. So I think they're going to need to find a submission or a knockout, or they're going to need to find something in round 3. I feel like we're kind of getting to the point in this feud where just coming back with something that's, you get a little dub for it. It ain't enough. It ain't enough. Coming back with something like, if they have a match and they just win it, that ain't enough to bring back the mystique, really. Like, we need something pretty badass. We need something real good. I hope they're building towards that. We know that Alexa's coming back. And again, I know not everyone's on board with her coming into the group, but let's say she is, right? Because the URL seems to point to that direction eventually. We don't know when she joins, but eventually we believe that she will have a connection with this group. And it's hard to see her not, if you look at her history with Howdy, with Bray. So that's going to bring in a whole different level of intrigue. I think her experience is going to be much needed. I think she showed she is a fantastic character performer. You give her a character, she can flesh it out. She can perform that character. I look at maybe some of the struggles this group's got, and I'm not sure. Outside of Nikki, Rowan knows his role. Nikki knows her role. I've spoke about the confusion with Gacy and Loomis. I don't know what their roles are meant to be. I don't know how they're, apart from coming down to the ring, acting a little bit creepy, and then when the bell goes, taking their mask off and just wrestling. I don't know what they're meant to do. For me, Nikki is the messenger. So we've seen her kind of slowly delivering videotapes and twisting her head, and she gave a little wave, and we've used Nikki quite a bit. Howdy is the leader. Rowan is the OG monster. But how do you use Loomis? How do you use Gacy? What are their roles? I don't even know if they know. And so I feel like that needs to be fleshed out a little bit. But when Alexa comes in, that will add some much needed experience. That will add someone to the group that's been there, done it, maybe can help find the way forward. That's something for us to look forward to. We can always bring in Strowman. He's been there, done it. That would help as well. There's definitely things that we can turn to. If we want to bring in the Fiend, we can go down that road. We can tease the Fiend without actually showing the Fiend. That would spark excitement. We could dig into some of the back lore. If next time we see Howdy, he is in some compound and he is saying that he is looking for the missing piece of the puzzle because it's not quite right. It's not as he envisaged, and he's looking for something. We would be obviously intrigued as to what he was looking for and what was missing. And, why have the words of the Red led him astray? How come they've been outfoxed? Why is it they're being outmaneuvered? If they can find the answer to that and answer that question, get stronger. Alexa, Braun, The Fiend being teased, get some promos on TV. These aren't massive changes. Some of this stuff I expect to naturally happen, but yeah, you can see like these glaring obvious weaknesses. You know, at some point the entrance was not going to mask all the issues in the group. Yeah, at some point, like all the little emotional connections with Bray were going to settle down, right? And we were going to see this group for what they are. And I think at the moment, for me, what they are is a little undefined. I think they're a bit undefined. I don't think we know what Gacy and Loomis's roles are. I think that Bo is good when he's in the full Howdy attire, but when he's in the ring, he looks a bit average to me. He doesn't really stand out. They don't really do a good job of making his, like, it's not like he hits a move and he like will put his arms out and like we'll let it breathe for a moment. It's not like he hits moves and people are like doing crazy selling for him. Yeah. It's not like he'll hit a monster clothesline, people go down and they're like, Jesus, you know. I feel like we put Jacob over way more than we put over any of the Wyatt 6 offense. It'd be great to see them do a move and have the opponents like, oh, mate, I just got hit by the gods, you know. We don't give them any of that. And I don't know why we've not gone into that level of detail. You know, if you want this to land and you want this to work, these are the little things that should be baked in, really. So it's not the loss. People that are focused on the loss, I think you're focused on the wrong thing. The loss is not a problem. No problems whatsoever. But there are problems. And the problems to me are the selling of the opposition is not big enough. We don't make these characters, these moves that they deliver. I mean, the moves they deliver are pretty standard stuff, you know? I mean, really, Loomis, Gacy just sort of throw shots, jump to the outside. There's nothing here that's unique for them. And the moves they do are just sold normally. Howdy looks fairly average in the ring in regards to his presentation. You know, with Bray, he always had like a good size to him. Bo doesn't really possess that. And so I think you have got to find a way of making it seem like he's always a step ahead. If he doesn't have size and he doesn't have agility and he doesn't have strength, then he's got to be a flipping master in the ring. He's always got to be a step ahead. And when he does land something, it should feel like it's come from the gods. But when we talk about people being defined, this is where, for me, we've not done that work. Like, I just think that what they've missed out on is that NXT run. Because for me, this is the feedback I would give them in NXT. This is the stuff that I would want to see. This is the sort of presentation I'd want to be working on. I don't know why Rob Fee has not been able to deliver this. I feel like the amount of work that went into Nightbirds does not feel like it has been put into the group. I feel like take the look away, because the look has been designed and created by Jason Baker, right? And delivered. And that's done. Like, the look is done. But when the bell rings, we've got issues. And as we said, one of, of all the stuff we've just spoke about, one of the other ones is that it was so easy to actually beat Uncle Howdy. So, yeah, the loss, I really think anyone focused on the loss is focused on the wrong thing. There are issues, and it's not that. So, can it be fixed? Yes, of course it can be fixed. Can it be saved? Yeah, I don't think we're too far gone. I don't think it's like disaster, game over, this thing's dead. I don't believe that. I do think we're kind of at a point where something big, dramatic, interesting does need to happen. And I do think we need to see some movement on the stuff that we've spoken about. Have I got confidence they will do that? Well, it's up to them, innit? If they put the same level of work into the group as they did into Nightbirds, it'll work, it will land, it'll be fine. I just don't know that anyone's done that. So I am not off the hype train by any means. I understand the concerns, but I still believe this thing can be turned around if they get their heads together and they look at the footage and see the feedback from the fans and, you know, find a way forwards. Chris said they need to be able to cut promos. They need to explain what they're trying to do. Howdy needs to become more of a monster or be able to outfox his opponents. Yes. Yep, completely agree. And I think the lack of promos is hurting because we just don't have that knowledge of what they're trying to achieve. We understand that they were after The Miz and they weren't after Final Testament, right? But we didn't even dig into the Miztourage stuff. We didn't even really dig into the history of Bo and Miztourage and all of that stuff, right? We just sort of implied it. There was an image, and I mean, that was it. I mean, there might have been like a little video promo. If there was, it was very, very short. I feel like what we would get next week if this was Bray is we'd get a fun house and we would see Bray being like laughing and he'd be like, "Hi friends," and he's like, "I need to talk to you all." So like this, and it'd be like, "Oh, what?" You'd get those sound effects of the kids being all concerned. And he'd be like, "Last week didn't quite go to plan, did it?" And he'd be like looking down, like really sorry. But that's okay, because I've got a solution. And he'd be like something like this, you know? That's how Bray would respond. With a fun house, showing you that he's down about it. But it's all right. It's going to be okay. We know how to fix it. Don't we, everyone? You're not going to get that from the Wyatt Six. You're just going to get a couple of sentences on social media. We've already had one today from Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross has already put one out that's like, they're going to pay. And it's like, yeah, but you also said before the match that names would be written in the book of Sick in Blood, and it wasn't. It's hard to believe the words you say when you say stuff and then it doesn't come through, you know? So again, saying more stuff if they're going to pay just sort of makes you go, okay, cool. I mean, you did say you was going to write names in blood. Do you know what I mean? It's a pretty extreme thing to say, isn't it? We're going to add names to the Book of the Sick in Blood. Upsie, we ended up losing. Sorry about that. Upsie, we ended up losing, and actually Uncle Howdy got beat relatively easily. Sorry about that. But, yeah, as we said, look, things are not as we would like them to be, but I'm definitely not off the hype train. Right, John said, what do we think of the Phoenix situation? Do you think it ruins them? I don't know what the situation is, to be honest, but we've spoke about it. I mean, it ruins them for those that want it to ruin them. And I would be very interested to know if you are a level-headed person, if you are someone that is not praying for AEW's downfall. Because I'm not sat here like, oh yeah, this is going to destroy AEW. I'm not that way. So for me, I look at the news as it comes through and I, treat it as I see it. And, I think the Rey Fenix news, from what I've seen so far, personally, I think it makes Rey Fenix look a bit stupid from what I've seen. Now, whether there's been like major developments today that might change my mind, I'm not sure. We've covered it in previous streams, and I know that not everyone agrees with my position on it, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to, change my position on it because people disagree with me. I believe what I believe, and I believe that if you sign a contract, you're agreeing to the terms of that contract. Of course you are. I'm sure everyone would agree with that. I'm sure everyone would agree. If you sign a contract, you are agreeing to what is in that contract. I mean, that's undebatable, surely. So if it says in his contract that they're not going to provide medical assistance and that we're going to give you a load of money, but the downside of you getting this money is if you do get medically injured or need medical attention, you're going to pay for it. If that's in the contract, he has read that, he has signed that. I don't really get how now he can turn around and say, you wouldn't help me, you wouldn't get me a doctor. I mean, I've said, if it says in his contract that they're meant to do that, yeah, now we're talking about something different, aren't we? If they aren't doing something that is in the contract that they're meant to do, now we're talking about something different. But I don't know his contract. I don't know what he's entitled to. I don't know that side of it. So it makes it very hard to say, makes it very hard to say. I mean, the only thing I've seen from him is him saying that he needed a doctor. He needed to see a doctor and he didn't hear from AEW for months. And so, it makes it seem like he was waiting for them to get the doctor for him. That's how it seems. But I don't know if they were meant to. I don't know if they were meant to. There's clearly a breakdown in communication, which isn't a good look. If you've got someone asking for help and you're just ghosting them, I mean, that's obviously not a good look. But I find that hard to believe that happened. I mean, was it a case that he said, will you pay for a doctor for me? And they were like, no, your contract says you have to do that. And he was like, no, I want you to do that. And they were like, no, your contract says you have to do that. And he was like, yeah, but I want you to do that. And they're like, look, we can't keep talking about this. Your contract is very clear. You cover the medical expenses. And then he was like, I want to speak to Tony. Tony might have said, no, you cover the medical expense. I don't know. I don't know what's gone on behind the scenes, But again, it depends what his contract says, doesn't it? For me, if you read a contract and you sign a contract, you agree to the contract. The contract is the contract. So I don't know that it makes AEW look bad until more details come out. The only thing I can say is anyone that wants this to be an issue for AEW, anyone that wants this to be a downfall for them, it's going to be presented that way. Yeah. It's going to be all those AEW hate accounts, all those channels out there that thrive on AEW's downfall, because there is an industry now of people that it doesn't matter what happens with AEW. Doesn't matter if they do something good. Doesn't matter if they do something bad. It'll be presented as bad because they get great views off it. Simple as that. If you do a video that says this is the end of AEW, this is the end of Tony Khan, Tony Khan's gone too far, Tony Khan's lost his mind, Tony Khan's gonna regret this one, yeah? Easy views. Easy views. I could do a video where I say Tony Khan is finished, right? I could do the thumbnail, Tony Khan looking sad. I could have the big words at the sides. The content could be me talking about how can you treat your wrestlers this way? How can you... And you said you wouldn't as well. You said you'd give them medical care. And how can you treat your wrestlers? I could easily knock a 5-minute video out like that. I reckon it'd get about 20,000 views. Which I probably should do, to be honest. Because I spend ages on Unseen and that gets about 8 to 10. So I could easily knock out a much easier video and get way more views. So if I was a good YouTuber, that is exactly what I would do, actually. But I don't really believe in that, and so I'm not going to do that. But if people want it to be their downfall, it will be their downfall. But if it is... I think if you're a bit more level-headed, then I don't know that there's enough information out there at the moment. Travis said, if I remember correctly from an AEW talent playbook, they are to provide medical. Well, certainly Tony said at the start of AEW that medical was something that he was looking to provide the wrestlers. I don't know if that ever made it into the contracts. This is where some of Tony's words are coming back to bite him on the backside, right? Tony also said that, or it was said by AEW somewhere, I don't know if it was Tony exactly, but they said that they wouldn't take down copyrighted footage and that, it's going to be free for the people to use, yeah? And obviously there's a line. Obviously, if you're just going to flip and upload their shows, that's not going to be tolerated. So there was always going to be a line. But, fair use. Fair use. If you was going to use their clips in your videos and you was making your point whatever, and you weren't just showing their shows, that was going to be acceptable. And of course, then botches started happening. People started ripping into the company. Clips started to be used that then were taken down. People then started going, you said you wouldn't do this. And so they made a rod for their own back, right? It's not a good look in that regard. I think the medical thing, though, just like the copyright thing, has sort of been known that hasn't really come to fruition for quite a while, right? So in regards to this, when Phoenix signed his contract, and I'm not sure when the contract was signed, if it was 3 years ago, we're talking, 2021? So, I mean, the company had been around for 2 years by that point, right? I would be interested to... I'd be interested to know what it said in his contract. At the end of the day, it's irrelevant as to what Tony has said or what AEW have said when the company first started back in 2019. It's irrelevant at that point. Things change, situations change, right? And clearly things have changed over that time period with AEW. For me, when you sit down in the room, you read that contract, and whatever is in that contract, that is what you are agreeing to. Whether you like the terms or not are irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. You are agreeing to it. You are agreeing to it. You might not like it, but if you sit down and sign the contract, you're agreeing with it. Which is why, for me, it's a nothing conversation. If he signed it and it's in there and he's agreed to it, it's a done deal. Contracts are super important. You need to make sure you're reading them, right? You need to make sure you're aware. Because you might say, oh, he might not have been aware, but that ain't great, is it? Imagine not being aware of what you're signing. Imagine not knowing what's in your contracts. What, are you only interested in the big number, that how much you're going to get paid? Because there's a hell of a lot more stuff in there than that. You know, and, you know, you'd probably want to have a lawyer or someone look over it and a detailed breakdown. You'd probably want to have a read of it yourself. It's the most important document you're signing, you know. It's going to dictate the next 3, 5, however long years of your life. This is why contract negotiations can be quite a lengthy process. This is why Becky, I think, seemingly walked away, because I don't know that what was being offered to her, and it might not even have been the number. It might have been some of the other perks. It might have the number of dates. Look at what Roman gets. You know, Roman gets to work only a certain amount of dates a year. There's crazy contracts clauses. We were talking the other day, weren't we, about Kevin Nash, Scott Hall had it in their contracts that if someone came in, got paid more, their money would increase to that level. Like, the stuff you can put into contracts is pretty much unlimited. It's endless, which is, you know, that works both ways. That works in the favor of the talent, but it works in favor of the company as well. So without a detailed breakdown of his contract, I really don't know what he was entitled to. So for me, seeing him going online and like crying about it, if he's right to cry about it because they have gone against the agreement that was in the contract, that's a scandal. They deserve to get dragged. But if it's just him being upset because it's now going against him, you know, he's now in a situation that he didn't think he would be. He signed it, but he didn't realize that he'd be in this situation, and now he's upset about it because he can't go and join his friend in WWE. I ain't got much sympathy for that. And by not much, I mean zero. I have zero sympathy for that, which again is maybe not a popular stance. But, that's how I feel. I think contracts are super important, and I think you should know what's flipping in them. Hannah said, Daze, you and Tommy are like two peas in a pod. Shout out for another episode of Shenanigans from Tommy, says Hannah. Hannah, shout out to you. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I thought today had a bit more energy to it. Last week, Tommy seemed a little bit... I don't know. I mean, like, Tommy has to work all day, doesn't he? So sometimes when he gets to the podcast, he's a little bit low of energy. The energy levels aren't quite there, but I thought this week was not bad. We had a few conversations. He sent a few bits and bobs over, so very good. Okay, we've got 11 minutes to go, kids. 11 minutes to go. Right. Kim's Trains, old Daze needs is a little fishing rods, and then he would be transformed into a garden gnome. Daze could then spend all day talking Barry the Boomer Baby to sleep, and then the stream, and we could all swear. That's what people want. They want the freedom to swear. We are a very polite community. I feel a little bit sick because they lost, says Matter. Chris said, that would not be good, not reading your contract. I think Becky wanted to make sure that she could have a character change, says Chris. Yeah, it really would not be good if you didn't read your contract. And again, you know, if you are someone that signs an document that important and you've not even read it. I mean, to be honest, I would struggle to believe that. I would struggle to believe that, you know, this document's super important for the next period of your life, you know, that you haven't even read it. I wouldn't believe that that's happened. But if that is what had happened, he's a flipping idiot. And I would struggle to have sympathy for him again. But anyway, that's the Phoenix situation. The honest answer is, without more details, I just don't know. Without more details, I just don't know. Uncle Revel said, here's an update from WWE Network support in Canada. It does not say for sure. Thank you for contacting WWE Network support. Please check WWE's YouTube channel to see if it will broadcast there. Let us know if you need any more assistance. Well, that's flipping rubbish, isn't it? So they don't even flipping know. Right, I'm excited for Saturday. I wonder who will switch brands, said Humble Rumble. Yeah, well, a lot of people. Bailey teasing that she's going to be switching brands. There's been a few people, actually, that have sort of insinuated that they're going to be switching brands in the background. You know, Tiffany Stratton, for example. She kind of insinuated that she would be switching brands. She was seen talking to Adam Pearce. We know about Cody. We know about Gunther. Dominic was seen talking to Nick Aldis. Bailey was seen talking during Raw to Jackie about how she was there regarding switching brands. So these are the kind of names that are being mentioned. We haven't seen much in regards to NXT being in the conversation. So that would be interesting. NXT obviously seems to be in the mix as well. So yeah, I don't know when this transfer window is going to happen. I haven't seen any dates for it. So that's, I'm thinking something that they're going to build that first Raw on Netflix around. I can't see them doing it before then. I think those moments where people get called, I mean, that thing is going to feel like a PLE mixed with a Raw after WrestleMania. Not only are you going to have massive matches on it, right? Matches that could easily go onto a premium live event, this first Netflix Raw. But I think you're also going to have NXT call-ups as part of this transfer window. So it's going to sort of be like a PLE mixed with a Raw after WrestleMania with like legends and surprises mixed in. And honestly, it's going to be one of the biggest shows of next year. So excited for it. So excited. James said, are you changing brands? Are we going to switch WWE and then just solely focus on AEW? Well, I did consider it for about 2 seconds, and then I was laughing for the rest of the day. So I can't see it happening, to be honest. I can't see it happening, but never say never. Xavier and Kofi should bring in Ridge Holland to get more heat. Oh my God, Ismail, that's... Oof. I don't even know how to think about that. Imagine if they did. Imagine if they did bring in Ridge Holland, the person that put Big E on the shelf. You'd need Big E in real life to be on board with that, because you're really now using his injury as storyline, you know? And that is something I think we've tried to distance Ridge from. So I don't even know how Ridge would feel about it, actually, because in real life, that was horrific for everyone. Not only Big E, but that was horrific for Ridge as well. I mean, that I would imagine that really deeply affected him. I mean, there is no way Ridge wants to end someone's career for real, is there? So, like, I could believe that was really difficult. So even Ridge would have to sign off on that. Some people would say that's in bad taste, but if everyone has signed off on it and it's got a purpose and it's going to lead us somewhere, I think we can. I would be okay with it, as long as it's got a purpose and it leads us somewhere. Daze, if you swapped for AEW, you would have tapped out to Khan's booking in about a minute, says Hannah. Brody said, Daze, what would we do regarding Trick and his title run? Honestly, just get him some good opponents. Just get him some people that can really go in the ring. I mean, him against Obafemi is going to bang. If that match is a bad match, then we can start to have a serious conversation about Trick in ring. But I've seen Trick have good matches against Elia, against Carmelo, against Wes Lee. And so for me, like, I think Trick is not a ring general, right? And that's fine. There's plenty of people that aren't ring generals. He's not someone that can take anyone and drag a great match out of them. He is someone that can hold his end of the bargain, but he needs a good dance partner to deliver like a great match. If he's in there with someone that's so-so, the match is probably going to be so-so. If he's in there with someone that's good, then he can hold his end of the bargain. The match is going to be really good, right? So him against Oba, I've got like high hopes for that. But we've seen, you know, his matches with Ridge Holland. I mean, it just didn't deliver, you know. His match with Ethan, I mean, I don't really know what's happened with Ethan. No disrespect to Ethan, but I don't think his match quality has been very good since he's come into NXT. I've not really watched him previous, so I don't know, you know, how good he is. But looking at the community scores for Ethan's matches, they're in loads of matches that, and in all fairness, he hasn't had loads. It might be a case that we went a bit too quick with Ethan and we went a bit too fast, but he might be about to leave. I mean, he said he doesn't know what the future holds for him. Carrion was like, Ethan, pick up the phone. And so maybe we went so quick with Ethan because he wasn't actually sticking around NXT very long. We just put him in there to introduce him to the WWE fans, and now he's gone, right? But I don't, from what I've seen of Ethan, and I'm only judging him on his NXT run, I don't really regard him as like a great in-ring talent. I'm sure he's got the ability. I'm sure he's had banging matches. He ain't shown them in NXT, right? And that is reflected in community scores as well. So if we're judging Trick on the matches he had with Ethan, or multi-person matches that he was a part of, or the matches that he's just had with Ridge, I feel like everything I've just said has just eaten up a pretty good chunk of Trick's like recent run. And I want to see him in there with some people that really know how to, you know, work, really know how to get out some good matches. Truth is, you look around NXT and you are struggling for names on that front. Someone that I would say, though, that has definitely been delivering some good matches recently has actually been Obafemi, which is why I'm quite hopeful for those two getting in the ring and competing. It's a shame we don't have Dijak, because Dijak, Dijak got called up and then got immediately released. But Dijak was someone that could always deliver a really good match. His PLE record the other year was fantastic. So, you know, could you imagine Dijak against Trick? Like, that would bang. You put Trick in there with some of the talent, you know, Trick against Sheamus, some of that main roster talent. Trick against Seth. Trick against AJ. Trick against Sami Zayn. Trick against Kevin Owens. You know, Trick can hold his own. You put him in there with some of the other, with those people on the main roster, I think he's going to deliver you some really good matches. And hopefully, iron sharpens iron, he will improve. I don't know, really. If you look around NXT, there's not loads of great in-ring technicians on the men's side. There's a lot of people that are learning. And so I'm sort of like, yeah, we do have a bit of a problem on that front, right? So I don't know if it's not time to, you know, have him drop the title to Oba and just call Trick up. I really don't think there's much else he needs. You can keep, I mean, him working intensely with Sean is never going to be a bad thing. But, I don't know, does another 6 months make much of a difference? If you keep him there down in NXT working with Shawn Michaels for another 6 months, does that make much of a difference? Is that really going to make like a massive... I don't think it does personally. So, yeah, I don't mind if this actually ends relatively soon. And we call him up. Right, I am waiting for this to start. So if he loses to Oba, no problem. If he gets past Oba and we end up having to do a rematch, no problem. That's fine as well. Okay, here we go, kids. I thought Trick would have dropped the title on Saturday, said Dr. Lucha Lala. Well, he could drop it at New Year's Evil. That is the day after the Raw on Netflix. They're going to want that NXT to be huge. So he could drop the title there. New champion crowned. Maybe then Trick's free to get called up like the second week. Or, listen, maybe he gets called up on the Friday. Who's to say Trick goes to Raw? He could go SmackDown. We don't quite know how the rosters are going to shake out. Dijak's in MLW now, said Ismail. By the way, they have a really good tag team in MLW called the Andersons. It's a new generation of the Brainbusters. Okay. I'd be interested in seeing them. Saturday night's main event predictions video, said Tribal. Oh, Tribal 6. Yeah, I mean, my week's a bit strange, actually, because I find Friday... Saturday, Sunday not so much, but Monday, Tuesday, that's obviously my busy part of the week. But then I'm just about to go into like this Wednesday, Thursday period where I just get a little more time to breathe because we don't have streams. There is a member stream, but it's only an hour long. So I just get a little more time to breathe. This is when I tend to get my graphics made, when I get my research done, when I get like streams set up and stuff like that. I just get a bit more breathing room on a Wednesday and a Thursday. So to answer your question, predictions, I would have loved to have done them Sunday, but we didn't have the full card. We've got it now, so Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, I just have a bit more breathing room, as I said, so we'll get predictions up on the second channel for that. Let them know the schedule, communicate with them. They are trying to help, says William. Yeah, Sonny, I hope it's going well, buds. Hannah said maybe Khan should go on to Gordon Ramsay's Nightmare Show where he reveals the violations with AEW. He'll slowly fix AEW as normally seen with his shows. I actually think some of the restaurants he has helped has actually closed down. I'm not sure what his long-term success rate is with Kitchen Nightmares, to be honest. Wrestle with Andy, hello, said my schedule is literally the same as yours. Is it really? Do you find Wednesday, Thursday is a little bit more quiet? That's weird. That's interesting. I suppose in a way it makes sense because like wrestling, I mean, if you watch AEW and TNA, of course, then your Wednesdays and Thursdays are busy. But certainly from a WWE perspective, it is all kind of around the weekend. So it is kind of all around that. It's interesting that you've got a similar schedule, my friend. I hope things are going well. I've seen some of your recent videos that you've been putting out. Excellent as always. You don't need me to say that, but excellent as always. James said, Daze streaming AEW is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Never mind someone I actually like. Where did this need for wanting me to swear come from? Jim, hello. Hope you're well. I never want you to swear, Jim, because in my mind, you are this community's little cherub. It's you and James Chadwick, the two cherubs of the community. I never want either of you to swear. I mean, I've given up that hope with James, but with you, Jim, I'll never give up that hope. Here we go. We're going over. Here is Giulia. Giulia putting her arms outstretched, making her way down to the ring. The winner of the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. She looks great. She's in camo. Looks like she's about to go hunting. Love this for her. Love this for her. And she always loves a wacky trouser, doesn't she? She always loves a wacky jean. She can't just wear normal jeans. They've got to have, like, frizzly bits on. I've noticed that about her. Giulia in the ring. Let's go, Queen. Let's go. I don't know what all that is, but I love it. I am the Iron Survivor. She survived the iron. I'm gonna do what I came here for. Roxanne. At New Year's Evil. Okay, here's Roxanne. Here's Roxanne. She interrupted Giulia. Here's Roxanne. What's she wearing? What are those little shoes? Oh, I thought she was wearing like little ballet shoes. I thought they were like little pink slip-on things, but it's actually just her trainers. Roxanne's just come out and she's just talking like... I think the crowd have probably missed half of what she's said. Is it? I think Roxanne's projection is not quite there. It's like she just sort of came out like... She wasn't like really like projecting the lines. Look at it. I didn't realise she is full camo, isn't she, Giulia? She's bringing down elk. She's not just getting rabbits. She's bringing down like full-blown flipping elephants in Florida. Oh, yeah. How about we do this right now, said Giulia. Yeah. Ah, here's Cora. I don't think you're going to make it, said Cora. Cora's getting in the ring, so Giulia is surrounded. What's this? What's this? What's this reveal? Oh, Stephanie's been attacked backstage. Stephanie's been attacked backstage, and Cora said there's no mystery as to who did it. Ah! Big shot to the midsection. Now they're unloading. Who's going to make the save? It's Kalani. Kalani comes running down. So, she's got to be careful. She almost got walloped, smashing Cora's head. Oh, she's got that pipe. Cora gets out the ring. Roxanne gets out the ring. Is that going to set up a tag match, is it? So, Stephanie attacked backstage. Scenes. Oh, yeah, this is Ethan now. The Japanese and Italian mix with Giulia is great for her in wrestling. If there was a nation with that mix, most of the people would look gorgeous, says Hannah. So people are wondering what these comments of Ethan meant. Oh, it's Tony. Oh, there he is. He's only sat right there. You lost, get over it. You blew it. I got a soft spot for you. I turned NXT into NXT. The North American Championship is a step down for me. Tony, just walk away. Why are you still talking to him? If I can't beat the North American champion, my career is pretty much over. No, I'd say no and walk off. Bob said, Stephanie McMahon has grown up a lot. She is the boss's daughter. You can't attack her. You will pay, says Bob. Right, we got an advert for Netflix. Then we go over, we got Javon. That's a bit weird. We just had like a quick Netflix advert. Now we got the bouncy boy. This will be a great match, actually, wouldn't it? Javon against Wes Lee. This will be a great match. Look. Yeah. 12 minutes in already. Javon versus Wes Lee. Oh, my God. This is going to be a flipping highlight reel. Right. Ismail said, what do we think of the idea to bring Mr. Kennedy in as a manager? Give him a family. He could manage like Bobby Heenan and Don Callis. I was never a big Mr. Kennedy fan, to be honest. That era was not a great era for me. That sort of like Mr. Kennedy, MVP type era. I don't mind like a Heenan family type situation. I think I would just use Heyman. I think I'd just have Heyman do it. So I don't know. It's one of those that I wouldn't like campaign for it. But if someone was to bring it up and they had a vision for it, I'd be like, well, let's give it a go. Give it a go. I don't share in like any excitement over it, but I can't say I'm massively down on it. I'd give it a go. Might work, might not work. Mr. Kennedy is a very wooden actor, said Lord Sheograth. Cecil said Daze ego about to be called up. Tom said, I personally felt like during the deadline match, Javon and Wes didn't have chemistry, said Tom. They seemed off, didn't they? You are correct. But I'm wondering, with opportunity to not have to worry about all the other spots that are going to be happening, and, you know, I mean, in a deadline match, you've obviously got a lot of stuff that you're having to prepare for. So if you just spend a bit of time working one-on-one, you know, I think as well, because they were off in some of those spots and the chemistry, you're absolutely right, felt like it was just a bit off. I've got to think you would work on that. I've got to think that, like, you know, all throughout Monday, all throughout, like, today, you kind of, they knew on Saturday they were facing. So with how good both are, I'm hopeful that they've fixed things. I think this will be good. I've got high hopes for this. I think this will be a really fun match. Daze, Kennedy was someone who I would have seen getting big with his theme. He was a big what if wrestler. Well, yeah, I mean, they had a whole campaign, wasn't there? He was going to be Vince's illegitimate son. There was going to be a big thing where actually when Vince was, I think I'm right in saying, aren't I, that with that limo blowing up, it was going to be that Mr. Kennedy was going to be revealed to be Vince's son, and he was going to actually like take over the company, and they had like a major story planned for Mr. Kennedy. But obviously the limo blowing up happened at the same time as, was it Chris Benoit's incident, tragedy? Let's go incident. And that whole storyline was scrapped. So you are absolutely right. The Miss Kennedy thing is a massive what-if situation. But I don't know why, but that kind of time period was a period that I really struggled. It was actually a bit of a low point in my kind of connection with WWE. I felt like there was a lot of, when you've gone through the heights of the Attitude Era and like serious star power, it did sort of feel like some of the people that came along, as we said, with your MVPs, your Mr. Kennedys, they just felt like a good 20 odd steps behind where we had been, to be honest. Here's Lexis. Here's Charlie. Here's Ren. Okay, Charlie said he's proud of Ren. He's proud of Tavian, proud of Miles. They did great. They were great. You showed the world. Ren, big smile on her face. Here is OTM. They were watching that match, that tag match. Jada. Jada feels like a big star now. Jada feels like a really big star. I could knock your ass out here. Jada obviously coming off that loss. Okay, Wes Lee making his way out now. So Wes Lee coming out, as we said. Hopefully this match is going to bang. I've got high hopes. Until Randy and John Cena allegedly called up Vince and complained about Kennedy working stiff in the ring. The Benoit incident was used as an excuse for it being dropped, said Nick Butcher. Pooter said, I was watching TNA, Ring of Honor, and PWG during that Mr. Kennedy era when we still had FYE. They had all the tapes. Okay, Wes Lee getting into the ring. Wes Lee tried to knock some sense into Javon. Let's see if they've got this chemistry now. But where was going to be the positive McMahon? I wonder how that would have gone, said Hannah. I wonder how that would have gone. We'll never know. Okay, shots there by Javon. Wes Lee goes over by the ropes. Shots coming in there by Javon. Referee coming in, having a words. Again, big blows coming in by Wes, letting the hands go. Wes is down. Javon grabbing Wes, hurling him through the ropes. Javon going against the ropes. Look at that suicide dive. That's what you want from Javon. Getting in nice and early with a big spot. Raining down some blows. They're fighting in the entranceway. And look at that. Like a flipping dart. Great speed as well. I mean, and he travelled a fair distance. Nice shot to the midsection there by Wes. Wes going up, trying to stomp down on Javon. You never know what Javon's going to do. He's on the outside. Springboard coming up. Springboards. Drop kick by Wes. He had it scouted. He had it scouted. Going for the cover. Kick out there by Javon. Javon going over to the corner. Shot coming in there by Wes. I love watching Javon. You just never know what you're going to see. I think Wes is quite interesting as well because he had a really good run with that North American Championship. Obviously, he turned heel and he had quite an interesting feud with Zachary Wentz and the whole history, MSK, all that stuff. He seems a little bit directionless right now. Don't know what the future holds for Wes. This match with Javon makes sense because both of these can do some pretty impressive stuff. Javon was looking to go up over the top. Wes grabs him, drags him, hurls him into the barricades. Javon goes down. Javon goes down. Wes looking at the crowd, sticking his tongue out, grabbing Javon. Javon into the barricade. Dude, this boy might be bouncy, but he's also bundled into a heap. Wes grabbing Javon, hurling him back into the ring. The Men's Iron Survivor winner, Obafemi, will address the NXT Universe. Javon goes over the top, down on Wes. Grabbing Wes. Hurling him into the barricade. I don't know why, but I thought Wes was going to jump and land on the top of the barricade. I don't know why. He didn't. He got murked. Then he gets thrown back into the ring. A couple of people on their feet. Nice, nice, nice. Wes goes over. Drop kick. Good height. Wes goes down. Wes to the outsides. This is where Javon shines on his feet. He's going to go against the ropes. I've already seen a suicide dive, but drop kick there by Wes. Is Wes going to shine now? Wes goes against the ropes. Over the top. Down on Javon. Smile on his face, both guys having moments, but it's Wes that's going to take us to commercial break. Big Time said, why is the PC crowd just showing some lack of enthusiasm in recent weeks? They aren't bringing the energy. Could it be perhaps that NXT keeps saving a big loaded shows for outside of Performance Center? Well, maybe. Yeah, could be some truth to that. Could be that we're not giving them enough to really get their teeth into anymore. I think it would be good. I mean, I think there are regulars that go. Part of the problem, I think, is that it does need more people in there. I do think that we are struggling with the amount of people, but we have seen them be more boisterous as well in the past. So, yeah, perhaps there is some truth in us like having the bigger matches elsewhere. But I like that. I'm not going to be down on that. But I do wish there was more people that they could fit in. I really don't think this has been an upgrade or has been better than Full Sail. Full Sail has always been better than the Performance Center. But, of course, money. We can save money. We don't have to pay anything to put the shows on here. Whereas, we were paying Full Sail X amount to go there. Ismail said, one thing I want WWE or any wrestling company to bring back to the industry is tag teams to be a big deal, like back in the Midnight Express, Legion of Doom, Demolition, Heart Foundation days. I think there is a bit of movement, bit of work that's being done on that, yeah. I think there's a bit of work being done on that. Triple H obviously turning New Day heel. They're getting monster reactions now. We've got a story with DIY turning heel, so we're doing a bit of work over there. We know next week we've got War Raiders against Judgment Day. They're being made to defend their tag titles. They haven't defended them enough, but at least they're going to defend them next week. So, yeah, we've definitely got some movement, some things happening, but plenty of work still to be done. James said, instead of bringing in the speed title, they should have brought back the cruiserweight title and they should have had the same speed rules. What defo needs to be brought back is managers, says James. Mackenzie said it's missing the group of Chase U fans. That was always like performance center talent, wasn't it? Just like wearing the shirts. But it is true. I mean, I think they did bring some energy into the crowd. It's a really interesting point, actually. I think they injected some energy that maybe the rest of the crowd fed off. Without them sort of cheerleading the way, perhaps that has had an effect. It's a really interesting thought, actually. Suzanne, hello. Hope you're well. Do we think that they will show who spoke to Andre Chase? Well, I certainly hope so, because we didn't get it last week. We just got a repeat of that segment, and I think they showed it also at Deadline. So I don't really know what we're waiting for, unless they're just going to show it again this week. But yes, I'm hoping that we do get that this week, yes. I can't say we will. There's no word on the street regarding it, but I hope we do. Tony said, off topic of NXT, but did anyone else find it totally cray-cray how many people were just so peeved off and outraged about the Wyatt's loss? It was like they forgot how storytelling goes. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I was surprised. I knew people would be disappointed. I suppose in a way it's good that people care. Disappointment shows that people are bothered, shows that they care. Part of my concern was that, you know, Carrion was coming out with all this stuff and no one seemed to be responding, or no one seemed to be standing up for the Wyatt Six. Like, I was getting tagged in way more tweets about Carrion and people being excited by Carrion, excited by some of these bonkers theories, than anything to do with Wyatt Six. So I suppose in a roundabout way, it's kind of nice to see the fans upset about the Wyatt Six losing. It shows that the fans care. It shows that the fans are still there. It shows that, you know, there was some outrage, which I get a bit of comfort from, actually. Here we go. We're back to the action. Coach Co, shout out to you, said, I woke up with stomach flu today. Yay. I'm sorry to hear that, my friends. Sorry to hear that you're going through those hard times. Beautiful kick there by Javon. I hope you're staying safe, warm, comfortable, healthy. Here we go, up in the air. Oh, huge. Huge from Javon. 1, 2. Kick out there by Wes. Javon, look at the air time that he gets, the hang time that he gets. That's woke the crowd up. That's woke the crowd up. Crowd are chanting, this is awesome. We got double underhooks here by Javon. Yeah, we got this is awesome chants from the crowds. Javon with Wes. Trying to get him up over the top. Wes grabbing a hold of the referee. Shot coming in there by Wes. Elbow drop. Javon moves out the way. Javon on his feet. That's like a Superman punch. Superman-esque. Ah, that's a great shot though by Wes. Wes's shot looked awesome. Quick strikes there by Wes. Goes back. Boom. Super kick. Javon goes against the ropes. Big boot coming back there by Javon. Wes fired up. These two going back and forth. That kick missed. That kick missed by Javon. I think Wes still tried to sell it. Here we go. Javon going to the outsides. What is Wes gonna pull out of his playbook? He goes against the ropes. Ah, Spanish fly by Javon. Just as Wes was gonna go big. Double underhooks. Sit down powerbomb. Javon. 2. Ah, kick out by Wes. Kick out by Wes. Crowd are making some noise. We've had a this is awesome chant. And this is good. I think we've got a NXT chant that's just broke out as Javon goes up. He gets scouted. He was against the ropes and Wes is going to cheat. Oh, referee spots it, mate. Referee spots it. I really thought he was about to get the 3 there because he had his legs on the ropes. This is going to give Javon an opportunity. Goes up. Top! Over the top. Round the houses. Into a DDT. Monster DDT. Here we go. Wes against the ropes. Boom! Love that kick. Cardiac kick. 1, 2. Ah! Javon survives. I flipping love that cardiac kick. We really don't see that many Pele kicks in wrestling these days. Javon is down. It's not a perfect match by any means. Lots of teasing that doesn't come off. Lots of times they go against the ropes going real big and it doesn't actually happen. This is Javon Evans growing up, says Vic Joseph. Can you imagine if I feel like Javon needs a move like the Soul Snatcher. He needs like a move like that. Keeps going to the corner. I keep thinking he's about to hit a move like that. It doesn't really have one. He's got like a twisting, like plancher type move, but I'm not crazy about that as his finish. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. He lands it. The crowd don't even really react to it, to be honest. Bit of a flat finish, that, for me. I'm not a fan of his finishing move. Javon Evans gets the win, and it's a big win, though. Take nothing away. It's a big win. Not a bad match. Definitely better than we saw at the weekend from these two. Where I completely agree, there was some chemistry issues, but felt a lot better here. Corey, shout out to you, my friend, said 5 months. Time flies when you're being pervy. Hey, do you know, I had an idea for the members because we've had so many members join. I'm really constantly trying to figure out new things to do. And I was like, how about Daze Reacts? How about a stream that I do once a week where you lot send in anything? It can be wrestling or even non-wrestling. Needs to be PG, right? Don't go sending me porn. You can send me porn, but I won't play it on the streams. But like, people send in stuff and like we just watch it and react to it. I'll have to watch it in advance, of course, because I'll need to know that it's playable and acceptable, and it can't be copyright. But I don't know, like, people react to TikToks, don't they? And little clips that do the rounds. We should be able to get away with that. I thought that could be a really fun stream. Here's Fraxium. I want you to succeed. You're my tag partner. I would do anything for you. Nathan said, I need to make this right. Hello, breaking news. Tony is going to be defending against Ethan Page. That match is coming up tonight. Tony, Ethan Page, NXT North American Championship. So also tonight, Kalani and Giulia against Cora and Roxanne. Not a big surprise. Not a big surprise. NS Mummy, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Stay away from Waterberg. I love that clip. I don't know that people have seen that clip. It's going to be in Unseen tonight. I'm really looking forward to showing it off. I think it's so funny. Yes, true. We need to stay away from Whataburger, but so do the Wyatt 6. So do the Wyatt 6. Nikki Glencross, man is about to become a Dateline special, which doesn't actually mean anything to me because I don't know what Dateline is. Guys, what's Dateline? Let me know. Is she saying, is that like flipping, what's that mean? She's talking about Paul Ellering. Man's about to become a Dateline special. Don't we think that Josh Briggs needs to be pushed as a badass big guy cowboy? We need wrestlers like that in wrestling too. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't know why they've not gone that way with him, to be honest, because he was sort of doing that, wasn't he? He was sort of doing that, but yeah, we didn't, as like when he was in Brooks and Jensen. So yeah, I don't know why we abandoned that. I don't know what we did with Brooks Jensen as well. I mean, he's just sort of hanging around Sean Spears. Fallon's okay, you know. She's obviously a champion and she's gone into Fatal Influence. But Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs do seem very directionless. I think, though, by the looks of it, it looks like Sean Spears is putting a group together. He's got that new guy that I can't remember his name that we've not seen wrestle yet. So it seems like he's putting a group. So maybe we will get somewhere with Brooks Jensen. But it does feel a little directionless at the moment. Travis said, we don't need a repeat of The Fiend being too dominant. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have a problem with that. The loss wasn't the problem. I think that Uncle Howdy just should have been a bit harder to put away. He could have lost, but I do think he should have been a bit harder to put away. Matt Carney said, I tend to be myopic with who I like, seeing everyone else as worthless. Can one have favourites in wrestling whilst also seeing everyone else's merit? 100%. Of course. I feel we all do that, do we not? I think we all have favourites, but we can still appreciate all the other wrestlers. But I really like Sami Zayn. But I still really appreciate, you know, what Seth brings to the table and what AJ Styles brings to the table. They're not my favourites. You know, part of why I love Sami is he's always, I suppose, getting knockbacks. And he's always, like, for me, someone that is so talented in the ring. Like, I love his selling. I see glimpses of Sean in him when he's, like, having to dig deep. And he's having to try and find a way through a situation where it seems like there maybe is a way through, but it's a really narrow path. It's more likely that he's going to lose, but there is a chance he could find a path to victory, but it's going to be hard to find, and it's going to be very narrow. And it's like Sami is just, he thrives in that. He thrives in that. I love watching him when we go into them deep waters and it's getting real, like, you know, dramatic. He's really good. He's really good in those moments. So I love him for that. And I feel like I really want to see him get like a world title. Not the WWE Championship, but the World Heavyweight one. Listen, if Damian Priest can have it, then for me, Sami Zayn can have it as well. But I still look at other wrestlers and see their merits, definitely, yeah. I think everyone's that way. There might be some stands out there that are just blinded. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think there's too many people out there that are like, I love Dakota Kai and I don't even care about anyone else. Because, I don't know, like, watching wrestling would be really difficult if you was that way inclined. How would you watch wrestling then? Just waiting for one person? Are you even a wrestling fan, or are you just a Dakota Kai fan at that point? Stan Hansen getting a mention? That's pretty wild. Briggs being compared to Stan Hansen? Ooh, I'm not dealing with immaturity like I was before. Ooh. So we've just got this video package. I knew Briggs and I could do damage. I can't remember his name. I didn't want to be part of a tag team again, but I saw him training in Japan. I actually forgot he was in this team. Inamura already at Josh, Sun, and Inamura are ready to create chaos. Okay, Booker T said he can feel it. He can feel it in his bones. Josh Briggs is about to blow up. Oh, medical room. Medical room. Yeah, is this Giulia and Kalani? Kalani is livid. What goes around comes around. Look how upset Giulia is. Roxanne and Cora couldn't run a lemonade stand in the desert if they tried. Let's go. Girls got jokes. I mean, I feel like they're the kind of jokes that you get in a flipping elementary school playground, but I'll take them. Oh, look at that Ariana Grace locker room area. Miss her. She brought some great comedy. I felt alive. The heat of the battle. I felt alive. So we got Zarya, we got Sol, Ruka, we got Lash, Chikara, yes! I can't do it. They had a great push, didn't they, the Meta Girls? They had a great push. Lash said, I've heard about you. You ain't Lash Legend. Lash Legend's got a good size, actually, over Zarya. You can't bully this powerhouse. Ugh. Ugh. Is that going to be a tag match? Okay, who we got? Hank and Tank, everyone's favourite tag team. Hank and Tank making their way down to the ring. Giulia is drop dead gorgeous, said A. Jobson. Gorgeous. She's looking for a boyfriend at the moment. Honestly, she will not leave my DMs alone. Yeah! Hank and Tank! Hank and Tank! Right. Daze, your favourite tag team? Hank and Tank are here? Yes. Giulia gives me Christina Aguilera. I can see that, K-Dub. I could see that. Christina Aguilera vibes. Imagine Giulia in the Dirty video. Imagine if that Dirty video came out now in 2024. 2025. How many views has it got? I'm going to look now. One of the raunchiest videos. I mean, it's probably tame, actually, by today's standards. With your Cardi B's around. It's probably quite tame. Jesus. I am shocked. I am legitimately shocked. It's only got 200 million views. I would have thought that would have been knocking on 1 billion. It's been on YouTube for 13 years. And it's only got 200 million views. I mean, I say only. But, you know, I'm shocked. I would have thought that would have been like... I was mentally ready for like 1 billion. So I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised. Here is some bias booking. I would make a feud. Fallon Henley and Zarya make it a double turn. JC Zarya heels. Fallon would be the face, said Ismail. I like your booking, Ismail. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not down on it. I just don't know how I feel about it. Zarya being heel, I think makes sense. I think that makes sense. I've got no problem with that. Fallon being a face. Yeah, she was all right. She was pretty good as a face, actually. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. How many views does it have? Nice excuse. I didn't watch it, I mean, I have watched it. Jesus. Many times, every day. Last thing I watch before I go to bed. But I didn't watch it that time. Big Time said, I think there could be a balance. The premiere debut, Randy St. Louis, Halloween Havoc moved as PLE, ECW Arena, New Year's Evil being taken away, which is a loaded show. I don't know what we mean. What do we mean? What do we mean? There could be a balance. Do you mean like trying to give the PC crowd more? I mean, I wouldn't. To me, it's not a problem. I think you stack those big shows and you go big and you do it right. And I think we get excited when we move away. Like, I wouldn't like sacrifice that. I think the crowds, you know, some weeks they're good, some weeks they're not so good, you know. I think I wouldn't sacrifice those shows to, you know, try and hope that the crowd will be a bit more energetic. Lord Geograph, shout out to you, buds. Said, I've just tagged you in another piece of art that I purchased. My hometown. A nicer place for the good lady Giulia Sheogorath to live. Oh, well, where's this art? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Lord Geograth, where do you live? Why is Titus yelling at me? That's not the art. That's good. I like that. Oh, I didn't have you down as a man of such culture, Lord Geograth. I don't know why. In my mind, the art that you had on your walls was a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of darkness. You know? This is lovely. I did not have you down for this. But where is this? I don't even know where this is. It's lovely. It's Wells. It's the sea in North Norfolk. Oh. I've never been there. I like it. Maybe you could show that to Giulia and maybe it would woo her. Maybe she would be... Perhaps we could get her to come and live in Norfolk. Well, she was born in the UK, actually. I'm sure she was born here. I don't think she stayed here very long, but... right, Hank and Tank. Right, match number 2 coming up, kids. Here we go. Hank and Tank versus... is this Tyrese and... yeah. This is Tyson and Tyreek. There we go. I first saw these two, Tyson and Tyreek, during that house show I went to. I'd never seen them before. That was back in like the middle of April. They've obviously been used on TV a fair bit since then. I think they might have been on like NXT Level Up or something, but I'd never seen them. Here we go. Hank hurling. Tyson into the corner. Tyson. In comes Tyreek. Boom. Shoulder tackle. Good work there by Tyreek. I do appreciate them having their names on their ring gear whilst I'm learning who these people are. I still struggle with OTM. I don't know who's who in OTM. I still struggle with flipping AOP. Boom, drop kick. Tyreek is... He's got the Nigerian flag on him. Over in the corner. Boom, shot coming in there by Hank. Another big shot there by Hank. Goes over. I thought he was going to make the tag, but he goes against the ropes. Tanks in. Hank. Bulldog. Tyreek in the middle. Hank and Tank. Collides. Down they go. Daze, could we get Giulia as a guest on the web? Sadly not. I think trying to get actual signed WWE talent is pretty impossible. You have to be really in with their, PR department or something. We was actually talking on the web about how Chris Van Vliet had to work quite hard of, interviewing a lot of indie talent before he seemingly got accepted by WWE and then allowed to interview, their talent. Although saying that, Bo Dallas did do some interviews with smaller accounts, so... But that's very much an exception to the rule. Here's Tyson against the ropes. Boom! Big splash! 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. Hank and Tank are consummate professionals, said Aubrey. Let's go, Tyson and Tyreek, said Joe. I don't even like Hank and Tank, but in this case, I would prefer them to win over these guys, says Dr. Lucha Lala. Nice kip up there by Tyson. Tag being made. Shot coming in there by Tank. I like Tank when he gets going. He's got a good, speed to him, a good pace to him. He's got a decent size to him, actually. In many ways, he's a bit like a slightly bigger Joe Gacy. Big splash. Tank goes down, roll over. 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. I wonder what the IGWE means on his trousers. Jeans. IGWE. I gel with everyone. Perhaps he's just a really good people person. Tyreek is really good at parties. He gels with everyone. He's trying to get over to the corner. I give weird excuses. If ever he's late, you'll always get a strange excuse out of Tyreek. Sorry, I'm late. I was stuck in a swimming pool. Right now, we've got Tyson in the corner. Hank, boom, collides. This is an interesting little spot. Clothesline. Oh, I thought he was going to do it again. Held him into the corner and followed up with a splash. I thought he was going to do it again. He didn't. Thez press. Right. A bit of a showcase this for Hank, innit? Tried to come off the top. That did not look graceful. Oh, nice. Boss man slam. Charging over. Hank and Tank. Oh my God. Tyson down. 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. Hank and Tank pick up the win. It's over for Tyson and Tyreek. They've got an L to Hank and Tank. Oh my God. If you are a diehard Tyson Tyreek fan, pack it up, mate. Pack it up. It's over. You was upset about the Wyatt 6. Don't worry about them. It's Tyson and Tyreek we need to mourn. Oh my God. They're dead. It's over. Turn the lights off. Oh, they're good. They're probably crying. Hank and Tank put their hands out. Tyson, Tyreek, they do shake hands. Tyreek's a bit confused. No way. I ain't touching these losers, and I really respect that about him. Yeah, Tyreek gets out the ring, and he's like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with these boomers. Yeah. I agree. What a win for Hank and Tank, said Joe. Here's Obafemi! The ruler! The destroyer! Obafemi making it. Let's go. Let's go. Hannah said, if you had to be from another nation, what nation would it be? If you had to be from another nation. Don't know, man. Sweden. Hot blonde girls and saunas. Flipping Sweden, mate. In fact, now I'm a little bit disappointed I'm not from Sweden. I thought I was quite lucky, actually, being born in the UK. It's a pretty good place to be. But it's not Sweden. Yeah, I'm a bit gutted now. I've never really thought about that before. God damn it. Mr. Quake said nice. Scandinavia's fun, said Mr. Quake. Lord Showgraph said most nations are British made anyway. Literally everything British made is rubbish though. Ismail said Obafemi next Umaga easy, but maybe he will win the world title somehow. Opala! Hello. Daze, when does Hikuleo debut? And where will he go? NXT SmackDown Raw. Well, word on the street is he's going to NXT. So that's what the streets are saying. But yeah, I think that he... Well, I was surprised he didn't debut the other day, actually. I thought there was a chance that they would at least show him at Deadline. I mean, the next big show now is New Year's Evil. So are we just saving it for that? NXT's the rumour for Hikuleo. James said, why does Hank and Tank look like competition winners and they get to cosplay as wrestlers? Well, it must have been a hell of a competition because they've just been given a win as well. So it must have been a hell of a competition. Do you know what? I think Tank's okay. Hank he just doesn't scream superstar, does he? You know, no disrespect if you're watching Hank, but like your look. When they brought him in, they made out that he was a security guard because he does just look like an average Joe. Maybe that's part of the appeal. Perhaps that's what they want. They want him to look like a dude off the street. But, yeah, you know, I don't look at him and see flipping Macho Man. I don't see Hogan or Warrior. I don't see like this massive... I can't imagine in 30 years' time we're going to be sat here talking about, oh, guys, have you seen? They've just released the Hank Bleacher flipping buddy. Have you seen, guys, that they've just released this Hank flipping t-shirt that's this Hank action figure? I mean, I'm sure there will be Hank action figures, but it's hard, isn't it? All these like amazing statues, bobbleheads, and all this kind of stuff you get of Macho Man and Warrior and Hogan, and in 30 years, are we going to get a Hank one? I don't see it. I don't see it. But maybe that's part of the charm. I would like to say you're part of my favourite part of Wednesday nights, says Opala. Wednesdays are the most boring day. I love the channel, says Opala. That's crazy because I'm not even here on a Wednesday night. So I am your favourite part of a Wednesday night, even though I don't stream on Wednesdays because that's AEW. Is that what you're saying? You like the days of the week when I'm not around? Is that what you're saying, Opala? Huh? Please respond. Here's Oba. Daze, you would have to alter your name to Swedish Daze. I was trying to think who's in ABBA. Bjorn, Benny, Agnetha. I can't really think how my name could be Swedish-fied. I don't know what the trait is. Does it end in Xion? You know, like... What are the footballers? Isaac? Ibrahimovic? I can't really find any trait. Jun? Would that be Dejun? Does that Swedish fight? Dejun. I think it does, doesn't it? Dejun. I'd be Dejun. I'd be blonde, I'd be beautiful, and I'd be known as Dejun. And I'd stream from a sauna. Is there any other stereotypes we need to just get out there? God, these streams would be so different, but they'd be way more fun. And I'd be so fit. Surprise, surprise! The ruler is back! Let's go. Did he attack Eddie Thorp? I am the Iron Survivor. Nice one, mate. Great job. In 4 weeks, at New Year's Evil, I will reclaim my rightful position as the ruler of NXT. You believe him when he talks? I believe him. That brings me to Trick Williams. We've been very dominant. Here's Trick, man. Let's go. Ober's like, we haven't really crossed paths, but we've both been very dominant in our individual, like, positions. Ah, mate. Here we go. Here we go. Trick Williams makes his way out and down to the ring. This is going to be fun. January 7th, New Year's Evil. NXT Championship on the line. Trick Williams. Oberfemi. Look at these two face to face. Let's go. Actually, size-wise, not bad. Not bad. About the same height. Ober just that little bit bigger. Who's coming out? Eddie Thorp. Yes, we need this. Yeah, we need this. We need to know who attacked him. I think Ober's about to reveal it wasn't him. I'm not going to let you ignore what you did to me. I didn't do it to you. Surely that's coming. He's got a good jacket. I like his jacket. Oh, he's not wearing socks. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Where's the justice? You took my place in the Iron Survivor. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You're making some bold accusations. Did you see me attack you? I've never been hit by so much power. I've never been hit with so much power. I'm done wasting my time with you. Eddie's just been like blanked. Eddie's just like angry and he's just having to stand there. Yeah, let's go. This is going to be so good. This is going to be so good. The City of Angels. The City of Stars. Let's go. That sounds good, don't it? Ober? It is weird him having to do this promo with angry Eddie Thorp just sort of like pacing around. You're talking all this noise. Here's the truth. Oh, I love that. The only reason you've been the number one guy is because I let you be the number one guy. There was only a whoop that trick era because I allowed there to be a whoop that trick era. Whenever I was ready, I would take that easily. He's always known this. And at New Year's Evil, is Eddie going to jump over or something here? This will be the end of your era. He steps out the ring. Eddie Thorp stops Trick. I think we really did Eddie Thorp dirty in this segment. I thought you would give me an NXT title match for the Injustices. So Eddie Thorpe's going off on Trick right now. You're just a manufactured sports entertainer. You wouldn't last 2 weeks. This is good, actually. You wouldn't last 2 weeks in the Japanese dojos I came up in. That's all right. Shut your ass up. Let's go, chick. Let's go. Shut your ass up. Those doubters called me a sidekick when I was with Mello. Look at me now. Very interesting from Eddie Thorpe, because if you're trying to build up sympathy about him being, like, attacked, him going off on Trick is not really how you do it. I'm exactly what I say I am. That's the NXT champ. So Trick wants, boom! Big shot. Eddie Thorpe goes down. Make the match over. Yeah, I think we've done Eddie Thorpe really dirty there. Eddie Thorpe's had to stand in the ring, just looking like a complete third wheel. And then he's gone off on Trick. When are we not trying to build up a bit of sympathy for him because he got attacked? We still never found out who it was. Here's Tatum. Here's Gigi. Izzy Dame is here. I don't want anything happening to these ladies. Is Sean Spears... You seem lost. Yeah, I think he's after her. Izzy said, I know how damn impressive I am. Okay, Fatal Influence making their way down to the ring. Is the person who attacked Eddie going to be revealed in that match, said Dr. Lucha Lala. Maybe. When Eddie takes on Trick. Maybe they jump Eddie again. Okay, so Jasmine and JC making their way down. We've got Fallon in their corner. This is going to be against Tatum and Gigi. There we go. Gigi Dolan said Justin. Poll for that chat up line was bad 100%, said Toby. I think it was Hikaleo, says James. Dave, Sean Spears' faction just has no charisma, says Big Time. Well, let's get them going first. Ismail said, what's the opinion on TNA roster? I don't watch TNA, but so I cannot comment. Fallon is flipping gorgeous. Gorgeous. Suzanne said, I attacked Eddie, I confess. Eddie Thorp was scared to confront Oba, so he started with Trick. The only reason I remember him is because from Seattle, like myself, and I was at SmackDown, said Tony. Hello, Tony. Hope your party went well. It wasn't your party, but it was kind of your party. I lie, I cheat. I still said Justin. Why aren't they using Ariana Grace anymore? Oh, because she's, well, I think in TNA being the NXT liaison officer, but she's not doing a very good job because we haven't seen anyone from TNA in ages. So I don't really know what she's liaising. So I don't know if she might have picked up an injury or something. I'm not sure. Not sure. It was Nikita who attacked Thorpe. She did it for Oba, said Febin. Jim said, Eddie Thorpe is boring. He needs to buy a personality. It's Bryn again. Hello, said Tatum said she had made a new friend. To combat there being 3 members of Fatal Influence, the doll she was holding had green hair. Shotzi question mark? Nice. I heard her talk about making a new friend. I just thought she had meant Gigi. But, definitely if she's got some other new friend. And I see the pieces you've put together there. Are we about to see Shotzi? The attacker was Obafemi of Plymouth Argyle. He was hired by Obafemi as a decoy, said Nick Butcher. A. Jobson said the crowd don't care for Eddie. Right, we are at commercial break, and we've still got 45 minutes or so to go. We've only had 2 matches so far. Coming up next, I'm going to jot it down, JC and Jasmine. JC and Jasmine, they are taking on Tatum and Gigi. Are we about to get an appearance from Shotzi? That'd be good to get Shotzi back. When did we last see Shotzi? Have we got any, like, Shotzi news? I know she's been doing that spooky thing. She had a torn ACL. Shotzi injury update. She got a torn ACL in February at an NXT taping. The injury occurred when she was doing a DDT in her match against Lyra. The unfortunate incident led to her being pulled from Elimination Chamber qualifying match. She was eventually replaced by Alba Fire. So there we go. She was injured back in February. WWE has yet to announce a specific return date, but based on her timeline, fans can expect her potential return to be late 2024, early 2025. There is potential there, isn't there? Keelan Jones, shout out to you, my friend. Said, I'm going to be honest. It was my nan who attacked Eddie. She said it was because he turned off the chase when she was watching. Well, that'll do it. That'll do it. My nan used to flip in love Deal or No Deal. So if someone came in and turned that off, she probably would have gone cray-cray as well. So, Keelan, it all checks out, my friend. I think mystery solved as far as I'm concerned. Mystery solved. Right, we are about to get underway. Let's go. Let's go. Enzo Amore attacked Eddie. That's how he returns, says American Nightmare. After his Survivor Series shenanigans, is there a way back for him? Tell you what, that's pretty wild gear, isn't it, that Jasmine's got on? Boom! Elbow drop. Going for the cover. Kick out. Kick out. The Trick Williams second title reign, it's been rough. Aside from Ilya, no one that's really brought him to a strong quality match. Only Ethan and Ridge's opponents. Yeah, high hopes for the Oberfemi match, though. Drop kick there by Gigi. Gigi against the ropes. And, mate, that drop kick. That drop kick. Jasmine definitely felt that. Gigi going into the ring post. Jasmine chucking Gigi back into the ring. Screaming out, making the tag. In comes JC. Oh, look at this. JC and Gigi going at it. Yeah, quite the history. It's kind of crazy, actually, to think that these two are still in NXT. Think about when Toxic Attraction first got put together. That was flipping ages ago. Gigi in the corner. Shoulder tackle there. Shoulder barge by JC. Tag being made. In comes Jasmine. Kick to the midsection. And again. And she's got her foot right in the throat of Gigi. Quick tag being made. In comes JC. She collides into Gigi. Gigi, I think there was a little bit of confusion there. Gigi was thrown just as JC went for a kick. Another kick coming in. Was there a tag made? Was there a tag made? I didn't see no tag at that point. But I can't remember who the legal woman was anyway. Goes for a kick. Gigi makes the tag. There was a tag made there. In comes Tatum. Clothesline again. Another clothesline. Duck underneath. Double underhooks. Boom. Lovely. Tatum in. Jasmine goes into JC. And Paxley with a crossbody. Tatum Paxley. She's going to look to put... Don't know what she calls that, but she has her up on her shoulder. Airplane type spin. Plants her down. Oh, we got outside interference. Outside interference by Fallon Henley. And 1, 2, 3. Tatum's pinned. Tatum is pinned. Well, that was short, wasn't it? And now they're beating her up. Now they're attacking. Fatal influence all over Tatum. Look at this. Shots coming in. Gigi gets into the ring. Are we about to see this new friend that has been made by Tatum? Because the numbers are definitely with Fatal Influence. And they're unloading. Here we go. Yes, it's true. Shotzi. Shotzi, she's back. It's true. She's here, said Vic Joseph. Big boots. Man, she fits so well. So well with this group. This could be really great for her. Like Tatum, Gigi, that's a great group. Oh, here we go. Shotzi against the ropes. Through the ropes. Oh, down go Fatal Influence. Call up your friends. Shotzi's back. Arm in the air. Celebrating away. It's true. What did she just say? What did she just call them? The ballsy B word. Is that what they're going to be known as? I'm not sure that's going to get past the PG censors. Hello, we're backstage with Fraxium. So yeah, it's Bryn again. Well done. Well noticed. Although, it does mean that you sort of ruined it. You did sort of ruin that moment. So actually, that's a spoiler. So actually, you should be ashamed. Yeah, that's a shame. That is, it's Bryn again. You ruined that for everyone. So I hope you're feeling ashamed. Okay, tag team title match. Next week. Oh, Axiom's got 2 matches. Next week is, it's been dropped right in it there. Okay. Tony is going to be coming up next. It's Tony against Ethan Page. Let's go. Daze, I've said most Swedish people love avoiding conflicts. Do they? I don't really know a great deal about the Swedish people apart from the saunas and the blonde hair. I don't know that, and they love flat pack furniture. We know this about them. They love meatballs. We know that about them as well. But outside of that, I'm at a loss. I just don't know much about Swedish people. Have we got any Swedish people in the chat? Oh my God, imagine if we do have some Swedish people in the community. That would be so good. Right, we are at commercial break. Championship match coming up when we go back to the... I don't know what the main event is. Is that going to be the Giulia match? It will be, won't it? It will be. Of course it will be. Days, could we see Alpha Academy recruiting Chase U members? We've not seen Chase U for a few weeks now. Well, I don't think so, because they seem to have gone in a very comedy direction. Thea Hale's not ready for a main roster call-up. So certainly not expecting that to happen. But Duke Hudson? Duke Hudson? Could he go up? I don't know. Do people think he's ready? Broken Skull Sessions. So yeah, no, I'm not expecting that. I'm not, but you can imagine what it was like, said American Nightmare. Ethan will be banished back to his own promotion, says Neil. Yeah, next match coming up then, Tony against Ethan. And we know we've got that women's tag match as our main event. Will we get the Chase U answer as to who called out to Andre Chase before the end of the show? I hope so. The Swedish are boring, said Kim's Chains, a.k.a. Nick Butcher. I have a Swedish uncle. He's a chef. Oh, yeah, that checks out. And he says urdy-gurdy a lot. And he has a thing for catching and cooking chickens. Got you. Got you. This show has been a mixed bag. Did they not have a cliffhanger going into tonight, but doesn't feel like a show that's coming off a pay-per-view, says Big Time. Dr. Lucha said, we need to see if Chase U alumni can survive without the Chase U gimmick. Well, we know that Duke Hudson was around before it. Thea Hale was for a very short period of time. Riley Osborne, I think, will be fine. Actually, like Riley Osborne as like a mini British bulldog. Thea Hale, I think she'll be okay. We're just having a look at the... Have I seen this? I don't know that I've seen this. The Untold Two Dudes with Attitudes. I don't know if I've ever seen that, you know. Okay. We just had an advert for that. Days, I'm Swedish. I wear nothing but swimsuits, said Rhea Bloody Ripley. Well, can I just say I'm so pleased that you're in our community. God bless you. You increase the sexiness of our community, God knows how many percentage points. Guys, big news. This week, LaSalle is taking on North Carolina courtside. Big game. Big game. It's going to be on the C-Dub network. LaSalle against North Carolina. I don't know what sport. Gonna go with volleyball. Massive monster matchup in the volleyball world. LaSalle. That would explain the name, actually. Taking on North Carolina. Which isn't that where Charlotte is in North Carolina? So really it's Sally versus Charlotte in many ways. Beach volleyball. CW this week. Get excited. Right, we have got Tony against Ethan coming up now, my friends. Tony against Ethan. Let's go, Queens. Let's go. Dr. Luch Lala said if Ethan Page loses, he will return to sender. Return to sender. Here's Tony. There's the Riz. Looking great. Go on, Riz. Some serious boots on the Riz tonight. Knee-high boots. Tony making his way down to the ring. Stacks with him. In the ring is Ethan Page. I just heard Booker talking about a gay boss. I don't know what's he on about? What's Booker on about? A gay boss, you say? Days, you need to do more college sports, says Mr. B. Yeah. I could it's college beach volleyball. Oh my god. I wouldn't survive. I thought it was like old boomer woman volleyball. I didn't realize it was college level. It's been a very sexy stream. We've spoken about Sweden, college girls. Ollie go. Dave, do we think NXT talent moves to main roster? Apparently so, Chris. Yeah, apparently that is happening, yeah. They are in the mix. College basketball is only big for March Madness, said Dr. Luchalala. Dominic's loving the Riz. Rhea said it's basketball days. No, this is wrestling days, Rhea Bloody Ripley. Close. That is an alternative channel that I'm thinking of starting, but this is wrestling days. Okay, intros are done, and we are going to be underway with this match. Scarlett has tweeted out, welcome back, Shotzi. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. Bella sounded. We are underway. Tony, Ethan, North American Championship on the line. Take over there by Tony. Ethan getting up to his feet. Another takeover there by Tony. Talking about college girls is fine. Just don't be talking about school girls. That shiz will get you on a list. You just made the list. Boom. Slam down by Ethan. Do you know that a Canadian invented basketball, said Tall Guy? I did not know that. Was his name Barry Basketball? Tony has got Ethan, slams him down. Ethan again goes over to the other corner. Interesting question, Daze. Who likes meatballs more, the Swedes or the Italians? Well, I think the Swedes. I feel like the Italians are fans, but they have bolognese as well. And they have lasagna and pizza. I mean, they don't always go for meatballs like the Swedes. Literally, the only thing I know the Swedes eat is meatballs. I don't know that they eat anything else. They love balls. They absolutely love balls. They love consuming balls. So, but I don't know that's true of the Italians. They have it as part of their diet. They love balls as part of their regular diet. But I don't know that it's just exclusively balls. Big Time said, Daze, I can confirm Tony Khan is by feeding Rey Fenix baby milk because he's been crying all day. Well, I've not seen the story. We spoke about it earlier, but I haven't seen the latest developments. But I did enjoy the meme you sent me. I thought that was fun. Swedish Italians. Do we know the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn? Yes. Bonkers. They just chose it randomly, didn't they? Spartan said, imagine WWE moving people from NXT to the main roster only to have no plans for them, then releasing them. They'd never do that, mate. That's stupid. That's stupid. Why would you spend all that time on someone in NXT and then you get them to the point where they're ready to be called up and then what? You just don't have anything for them? They'd never do that, Spartan. Come on, Spartan. Get serious. Get serious. This is $1 billion company. They're not going to do stuff like that. Come on. Daze, what are the thoughts on Seth Punk apparently for the first episode for Netflix? Does that mean we get Roman Punk at Mania? Well, I don't know. I mean, the word on the street is that Seth Punk was Mania. We could get it first Netflix and at Mania, of course. I don't know that it's like we're doing it there. We're never going to do it again, you know? So for me, it doesn't really change anything. It just makes that first Netflix Raw even bigger. It's a great match. It's a great match. Did Omos almost get released? No, he's just an attraction. I'm going to watch the Swedish-German joke video of Norm MacDonald, said Johnny. Omos is in the WWE dungeon that is called catering. Gods. They might want to get him out of there. I mean, I'd imagine that's a hell of a bill. I'd imagine that's going to be a lot of money, having Omos in catering on a regular basis. God, they must be pleading with Triple H to get him into a feud. He's eating all the food. Do you know how much it's costing us to keep catering going? It'd be like Yokozuna in a way. You'd never want Yokozuna in catering, would you? Jesus. That's why they kept him busy, kept him working, kept him on the show. You're watching the network. Do you know what? All those little bits of you're watching the WWE network, we should record those for prosperity. People in the future will be like, what was the WWE network like? And they won't know. I should spend the day just recording things. Just get like hours and hours of network footage. Because it probably would come in useful at some point. Maybe not next year. Maybe not the year after. But at some point, someone will ask a question about, God, was you around when the network was around? And I'll be like, oh, let me tell you about the network. It was rubbish. You could never search things properly. It was really annoying. But it was also great. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Every time I used to turn it on, it was always in Spanish. Luca's at ringside, so is Stacks. MP said there was a scandal a couple of years ago where IKEA was suspected of using human meat in meatballs, but it turned out to be a load of beep. Rhymes with Rollux. Yeah. Belly to belly. Nice. Good work, MP. Shout out to you. Boom. And again. Evander Holyfield's son, a beast, said Tall Guy. He's in the system, isn't he? He's in the system. Against the ropes. Ethan Page. Punching Tony in the face. Kick coming in there by Ethan. Against the ropes. Goes for another boot. Duck out. Oh, spear by Tony. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out. 25 minutes to go. I'd imagine the wrestling world is abuzz, ablaze with the news that Shotzi has returned. In your opinion, Butcher and Blade AEW, will WWE sign them? Will they sign them? Do you think WWE would book them better if they signed them? Yeah. Yeah, but they'd struggle to book them worse, wouldn't they? Would you get the bunny as well? If she was part of the package, it's a good-looking package. I always feel with NXT, like, it doesn't really feel that bloated. I know they got a fair few people around, but because they're learning, actually the pool of talent that you've got to use that are ready, I feel like you've got people at various different stages. So the overall number's a big number, but there's the biggest chunk of that is not quite ready, or you just use it once in a while. Actually, the amount of talent you've got that is your regular talent is probably not a massive pool of people. So if you did bring in Butcher, Blade, Bunny, then you've got like another team to add to your tag team division. And, I mean, look, we've seen the tag team division. We're dealing with Hank and Tank. We're dealing with Tyrese and Tyson and Tyreek, you know. Bring in Butcher and Blade. You're actually bringing in some experience. In fact, you could make the argument there's a real lack of experience in that tag division. Tony gets the win. Tony gets the win. It's over. It's over. Turn the lights off. Thanks for coming, Ethan Page. It's done. It's done. It's over. He's got to go back to AEW now. He's got to go back to AEW. Yep. He's going to have to go back to AEW. We're going to put a Rey Fenix mask on him, and we're going to just pretend that that's Rey Fenix and everything's fine. That's what we'll do. We're backstage with Lexis King, and who's Ryan Leaf? Who's this guy? What tree did he fall from? Who's this guy? Who are you? I will give you that Heritage Cup match, says Charlie. But you got to make it through a workout with me. Thanks, Ryan. Whoever you are, you boomer, you weird stalker, some weirdo that hangs around backstage. Right, here's Roxanne Perez. Let's go. Who the is that guy? Said Jet. No one knows. No one knows. No one's ever heard of him. Who's Ryan Leake? Right, here we go. We got Roxanne, Cora, Giulia, Kalani. We're taking you back. All the way back. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Pressure. Bum, bum, ba-dun-dun. Yes. Let's go. Saturday, live, NBC, Peacock, but not for the UK or probably Canada. Let's go. Biggest NFL draft bust of all time, said Darom. Ryan Leaf was bad. He's a retired NFL player. Look, no one knows who he is. He's nobody. He looks like a lanky streak of beep. Yeah. I love being rude about people I don't know. Yeah, it's my favourite thing. Ryan Leaf backstage. That is randomly crazy, said American Nightmare. Big Time said, do you remember Braun in the Fox 2019 red carpet telling Denise his morning breakfast? That's random. Big Time. You've come in with something random. Even for you, that's random. I think you've watched too much wrestling. I think your brain has been fried by Ryan Leake. I've got no idea who that guy is. Who the is that guy? Says Conor McGregor, and we're not allowed to say his name anymore. I had no idea who that guy is, says Vic. Guys, can we all just establish we don't know who that guy is? Let's just get that done. Rather than us all individually saying we don't know who that guy is, let's just collectively agree we don't know who that guy is. And move on from it. NXT's women's division is pretty amazing right now, said Chris. Yes. Boomer said that's Daze's dad. Yes. Six Horror Kingman said pretty mid show tonight. Yes. Is he going to be a new superstar, said Ismail. Yes. All of these things have been confirmed by me. All of these things have been 100% confirmed. How long have we got? 17 minutes. How are we feeling about tonight's NXT? I'm bored of the cold matches on the fly being thrown together, says Big Time. I think this has been a fairly weak episode. I enjoyed Javon and Wes. Hank and Tank Tyson Tyreek I didn't need in my life. The return of Shotzi was pretty fun, so I enjoyed that as well. And really, you know, it's not been a stellar night of action, has it, really? JC Jasmine against Tatum and Gigi, that has got a good 96 rating. Perhaps this match will bang. I think the lack of answers as well is quite frustrating. I thought the Trick and Ober segment would have been better if Eddie Thorp hadn't have been standing there like a lost child. I kind of feel like, you know, when a parent loses a kid in Walmart and they just have to stand by the kind of entranceway with that person that checks your trolley on the way out. I was getting them vibes. And that's not great when you're trying to build a superstar. I've never seen anything like this. Let's go. I wish that person hadn't spoilt the return. Yeah, it's Bryn again. With your knowledge. No follow-up to the hello, Mr. Chase thing. Well, there's still time, but so far, no. And that is very disappointing. Daze. Didn't WWE do many specials on the network? My favourite was WWE Storytime, animated show where wrestlers told story of their lives. Yes. Here's Ethan. I know what you want. I can't right now. Go call Tony Khan. He's lost to flipping. He's lost a couple of matches. Yeah. Well, he's probably going the main roster, isn't he? Next week, Trick Williams, Eddie Thorp. Next week. Let's go. 6 months from now, they'll randomly tell us who said, hello, Mr. Chase. Also, next Tuesday, Obafemi against Axiom. Nathan Frazier and Axiom against Gallus. Double duty for Axiom next week. Sol Ruka and Zarya against Lash Legend. We knew that match would get made. Sol Ruka and Zarya against Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Let's go. Oh, we must be running out of time because she's been attacked in the entranceway by Roxanne and Cora. Kalani doesn't even get an entrance, and we are underway with our main events. Right, we need to do a poll for that last match because we are running out of time. Time is not our friend. Oh, Roxanne's all kinds of wobbly. She gets hurled into Cora. Drop kick by Giulia and Kalani. Days, it might be safe to say we're building next week, which is why tonight has been a bit mid. Over the top to the outside goes Kalani. Days, NXT in Boston. You know who's in Boston. She's in Boston. Going for a cover. I found the timing of Saturday night's main event in Canada. It's on WGRZ and WHEC at 8 p.m, said Nick Butcher. Oh. So we might have an answer now. Giulia against the ropes. Reversed. Roxanne rolls. She goes up. Slam down. Elbow by Giulia. Roxanne moves out the way. She rolls up Giulia. Giulia grabbing Roxanne. Grabbing the hair. Giulia tries to get over to Cora. Cora moves out the way. Kicks coming in by Roxy. Kicking away at Giulia. Giulia slumped in the corner. Cora grinding Giulia's head against that rope. Against ropes goes Giulia. Cora. Giulia moves out the way. Roll up. 1, 2. Kick out there by Cora. Going over. Tag being made. In comes Kalani. Giulia, Kalani in there with Cora. Cora against the ropes. Big boot there by Giulia. Cora goes down. Roxanne on the outsides. Cora was getting pinned. I don't know why Roxanne was like, trying to make a tag. What do you think was going to happen? Shot coming in there by Cora. Does Liv Morgan scream world champ, or do we see her as someone more suited to the mid-card? I don't see her as world championship material. I think she's growing into it. I think the more she can get wins over other people that aren't Rhea, I think she'll grow into it. But I was watching that video footage of her in the cage. She's really, like, enjoying herself. You can tell she's enjoying herself. And I think her character work of her being this, like, bratty heel, I think she's, like, getting it, to be honest. So, yeah, I think this heel turn's been brilliant for her. This feud has been brilliant for her. And now I definitely want to see her mixing it up with EO, mixing it up with, you know, different competitors. And, you know, if she can get wins. And it'd be good if she could get some clean wins as well. The more that we do that, the more she'll come across as legit. But if they could F them anyways. Oh, William, what's this? I would come back and hell would come back with me to effing F that F up. William, what was this? James said it's too easy to get cancelled these days, but you can't cancel greatness like me and William. And William just went off on an absolute tirade. Language. Kim James said, who is from Canada? I've got the timings for Saturday night's main event on Canadian TV. Lord Sheograph said, the fact that so many people hate Liv Morgan shows what a great job she's doing. It's true. I didn't like her because I didn't really rate her. I didn't think she did a great job as a face, as a heel. I think it's clicked. I think she's in a much better place now. If WWE has got long-term plans, let's drag Rhea Liv feud till Mania, giving Rhea that crowning moment. I don't know how many would want that. Well, I think they'd be all right with it as long as they maybe go off in different directions. I think Rhea needs something to distract her away from Liv, a side quest. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to keep dragging these two out to WrestleMania, that's a long way. But if Rhea has to go off and then earn her way back to Liv, then, you know, if you end up doing a This Is It type match, it ends at WrestleMania type situation. There's a way of doing it. Certainly if Liv's had some other matches against other people in the meantime, and so has Rhea. Actually keep stretching this feud out with them being constantly around each other from now to WrestleMania is going to be a challenge, considering the amount of time they've been around each other anyway this year. Shot coming in. How long we got? 7 minutes. Not related. Do you cook food or do you take out? I'm trying to see what is beneficial. Mostly just have foods at home, to be honest. Don't do takeout all that often, but do it occasional. Once in a blue moon. A rare treat. Just live on beans on toast. That's it, really. That's all you need. Against the ropes goes Cora. Carmen Live said this past weekend, I went to Chicago to see ARW Pro. Yes. Let's go. Who did you see? Carmen Live. Who do we need to be aware of from ARW Pro? Who is the man or the woman? Do they have women at ARW Pro? Have they ever seen a woman at ARW Pro? Please respond. Carmen Live 2. who murdered Carmen Live 1. It was a real showdown. It was a bloodbath. And it was Carmen Live 2 that emerged victorious. Oh, God. Do you remember Carmen Live 1? So annoying. Kept coming in, banging on about SP Dub. SP Dub, SP Dub. Oh, I went to SP Dub this. Oh, God. Week after week after week after week. I was so glad, Carmen Live 2, when you emerged victorious in that death match. We didn't realise at the time it was an actual death match that resulted in actual death, but I'm so pleased that you won. SP Dub this, SP Dub that. I went to see SP Dub this week, blah, blah, blah. Oh, week after week after week after week after week after week. Giulia with Roxanne, middle of the ring. Gonna look to drive her. Whoa! 1, 2. Shoulder up there by Roxanne. Boom. Big Time said, I worry WWE is going to fall into the same trap as AEW. Well, don't. Don't. Just ask yourself, is Tony Khan in charge of any of WWE's promotions? Lovely forearm strike. Boom. Shot coming back there by Roxanne. Are you doing ARW Pros a side hustle? Would you stream AEW or AR Dub? I might stream them all. Against the ropes. 2025, I might do everything. Boom! Lovely suplex there by Giulia. By Giulia. 4 minutes to go, Giulia. Look at some of this wrestling. We have got a real showcase of the graps. Look at that lovely driver by Giulia. Big splash by Kalani. And Cora makes the save. Do you know what? Cora just came in. Like knee first. She like came crashing. She was so close to Roxanne's vagine. I did wonder if she was going to actually drive her knee into Roxanne's vagine. She didn't. Inside cradle. Drop kick there by Roxanne. Kalani over in the corner. Tag being made. In comes Cora. Roxanne. Cora. Double teaming on Kalani. Roxanne against the ropes. Tripped over by Giulia. Dragged out the ring. Forearm strike. Roxanne goes down. Beautiful Nadness is wiped out by Cora. Lovely. Oh my God, what a kick. Great kick by Kalani. Love that. Kalani looking outside the ring. She's going to go up and over and down on Cora. Bodies flying everywhere. Roxanne grabbing Kalani. Kick to the midsection. Kalani goes down. Pop rocks. Pop rocks. Pop rocks. Let's go. Giulia. Edge of the ring. Here we go. Oh, boom. Lovely drop kick. Down goes Roxanne. These two. Oh, it's turned into a cat fight. They're just like... That leaves Cora and it leaves Kalani. Giulia and Roxanne fight to the back. Double underhooks. Ah, mate, she messed her up. 1, 2, 3. It's a win. It's a dub. It's a victory for Cora Jades. Where did Carmen go? Where did Carmen Live go? Hello, music has here's Stephanie Vacour making her way. She's got this lead pipe. She's gonna come out, is she? Ah, she was in the ring. Boom, down goes Cora. Headbutts. Stephanie. Let's go. Oh! I thought it was a pipe. She just snapped it. Must have been like a kendo stick. She's chasing after her. She's going in the crowds. Stephanie is after Cora. Okay, we're going back to Ava and Eddie. I'll see you in LOL. I deserve this. No, you don't. You definitely don't. I know who attacked me. Huh? No way! No way! Eddie Thorp just revealed he attacked himself! No way! He's like, I know who attacked me. You're looking at him. I've got my title match and I didn't have to go through 25 minutes of hell to get it. Nah, mates. That's a good twist. That's a good twist. Because it does make sense. He's like outsmarted the system and he only revealed it after he signed the contract. That is good. That is good. Some people might be disappointed that it wasn't revealed as like Hikaleo or something like that, but that does actually give him something to use going forward, you know. I thought it was a bit weird that we were trying to get sympathy on him, like he'd been taken out the match and all that kind of stuff. And then he was in the ring earlier being a bit off with Trick Williams. Now it makes sense because he's a douche. He's a douche. He's playing the system. And it worked. I love that reveal. I love that. I love that for him. I love that for him. Very good. Right, we need to end this. And then we need to start another poll. Let's pause that. So, goods, 59, 27, 11 and 1. And main event, Giulia and I can't flipping remember who was in the match. All I'm thinking about is Eddie Thorp, Cora and Roxanne. Yeah, get your scores in for that main event match. Match score. I love a good swerve, said James. Yeah, and I love an answer. Oh, I love a good answer, me. Imagine if we were sat here and we were like, ugh. Just ended with, like, Steph chasing Cora into the crowd. Like, ugh. But, yeah, a good reveal at the end. That has increased my score a tiny bit. Carmen Live says, Daze, last night I went to see Christmas lights at two houses in Trinley Park, Illinois, at the Christmas display. What about women? Do they have women at ARW Pro? Please respond. Imagine if it was Jade that took out Jade's. That was floated. That was floated. I enjoyed Raw last night. Final Testament and Wyatt 6 killed it, said Amin. Eddie pulled an Eddie. Eddie screwed Eddie. Now we can't trust Eddie again. Dakota needs to watch. Yeah, that's true. I wonder how she'll react to the news that it was Eddie that screwed Eddie. That'll be interesting. Now, that's what I'm talking about. You could stream everything. WWE, AEW, MLW, NWA, WOW, AAA. It would be like 24/7. Let's go. Let's go. Have you gone / thinking about going to the Christmas market in Manchester or Birmingham? No. I've been to the Birmingham Christmas market pretty much every year from, like, I don't know, over a blooming... I don't even know when it started. I can't even remember what the first year was of the Birmingham Christmas market, but I feel like the first 10 years of its existence, I went to every one, and it seems like it's getting worse. Doesn't seem to be as good as it used to be. I don't know when it started, though. Visit Birmingham. I wonder if they've got information. No, I'm not going this year, though, no. But I'm just interested when it began now. It's a firm fixture. It's the largest authentic German market outside of Germany or Austria's market. Or Austria. Oh, they've missed punctuation. So outside of Germany or Austria, it's the largest German Christmas market. Well, it doesn't feel as good as it used to. Yeah, I don't know when it first started coming over, but I did see it this year, and it didn't look as good. So to answer your question, no. I mean, shout out to you. Where's Carmen? Where's Carmen? No answers. Look, you ask a question, you don't get any answers. The flip. I might see you Saturday night's main event, said Blue Will Sonic. Blue Will Sonic, shout out to you, bud. We'll be here. Very excited for that show. Nostalgia. Count me in. Count me in. Get your final thoughts in. We've had 84 votes. I'm going to actually put the poll up now about getting your feedback request. I do like to get feedback requests. What did you think of NXT? What did you think of NXT? Oh my God. There we go. Cool. So that should be up now. Nice. Those types of markets are dead with easy access to online shopping. That's a really good point. Perhaps that has killed it. It was always a good place to meet up with mates and go for a drink, whatever, but now that you can just get little gifts and bits and bobs online so easy, and next day with like Amazon, there is, less appeal to go to them. Really, if you just want to meet up with friends, go get a hot dog, go have a beer. But the prices are so expensive. Again, with how people, cost of living crisis and all that stuff, people are having to be really, really careful about how they spend their money. So even on that front, it's really expensive. So yeah, people, are getting their gifts and whatnot online, and they're having to watch the money that they spend. Okay, that match came out as great, actually. You lot seem to enjoy that match. So, great. 56. Tony Ethan was good. 99. Pocta Dill, shout out to you, my friends. How do you Brits mourn the Boston Tea Party anniversary? Oh, Pocta Dill, you're really stuck on this subject, aren't you? Do you put tea bags back onto little toy ships? Big day of mourning, December 16th. I don't know how to recover this again. I don't know how to re-go over this ground. I mean, until you've just mentioned the date, I wouldn't even know the date. It's not spoken about. It's not focused on. It's not seen as a day of mourning. It's, if anything, we see it as a lucky escape. If anything. So it's like, it's just not a problem. Like, there's a lot more that's focused on with Brexit, or what's happening at the moment with Ukraine. Like, it's just not a thing. But Proctor Dill, I feel like this is like the fourth or fifth time we've had this conversation. I feel like you want it to be a thing for us. You want it to be a national day of mourning. So let's just say it is. Let's just say that what happens is you turn the telly on and we just have the Prime Minister crying for 24 hours, and every channel just shows the Prime Minister crying. None of us drink tea on that day because we can't bring ourselves to do it. So instead, we all just drink sake. We drink sake. We can't drink water because obviously the tea was thrown into the water, so we can't drink that. We can't drink Coke because that comes from America and that was too painful for us. So we just drink sake because it's got no connection to anything. So the Prime Minister's on TV. He cries 24 hours. We all drink sake. All the shops are closed. It is a national day of mourning. And everyone has to think about what they've done wrong with their lives. We all just think about what we've done wrong as people, and we just try in some small way to see if the next 12 months we can just be that little bit better. Because we're paying for the sins of the past. And, you know, we have to own that. It's a heavy cross that we have to bear. And we just, you know, at the end of the day, we just do the best we can, really. We just do the best we can as trying to find a way of moving forwards. So if we can now just put that to bed, because it really hurts having to keep talking about it. I'm sure you understand. It's, you know, I can actually, as I'm talking about it now, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? Those are my British ancestors weeping. That is my British ancestors in horrific pain. Not physical pain, emotional pain. My grandparents, their grandparents, I don't know how long ago it was. When was it? I don't even know when it was. How many generations? Going back like 50 generations. 50 generations of pain. All you can hear them all weeping at the same time. So, yeah, there's no joy. It's a national day of sadness. We just about recover by the time we get to the 25th for Christmas. But even that's just, it's pretty much written off in this country. It's pretty much written off. We don't even really celebrate it because we still haven't recovered from the 16th. But, you know, you try to do that little bit better, and I just hope that the next generation doesn't suffer as much as we have to suffer, you know. Hopefully that's the answer you're looking for. I don't know. Do with that whatever you need to, my friends. James said the Prime Minister is crying for other reasons. I mean, in all fairness, the Prime Minister is crying on a regular basis. Pretty much all of our leaders, pretty much everyone in this country is crying, but it ain't normally anything to do with the Boston Tea Party, let me tell you. It's normally nothing to do with that whatsoever. Matt said, sorry to be needy, but you've missed a super chat. Did I, Matt? Did I? I've got little hearts next to them all, which means I've read them all. So did I miss them? Or did you miss it? Hey? Did I miss it? Or did you miss it? Did you miss the answer? If there was one earlier about can you have favourites in wrestling whilst also seeing everyone else's merit? I covered that. We went over that. Yeah? I did it. I answered it. What else we got? It's the only one that's showing for me. Watch your move, Matt. Your move. This is where he goes, no, there was another one. We've got a lot of silly national days like Pretzel Day. I wouldn't rule out Pancake Day. I don't know when that is, though. What's your excitement level for Saturday night's main events? Oh, it is pretty high because of it being like nostalgia fueled. So I'm probably bobbing around an 8. Even though, you know, I'm not convinced there's going to be many, if any, title changes. I'm still pretty high up. Why is Roman not advertised for Saturday night's main events? I don't think he's on the show. I'm not aware that he's going to be there. John Cena loves Wipeout, said Spartan. And on that bombshell, I think we wrap this baby up. So thanks a lot for joining us. I'm going to run away and start working on Unseen. Don't forget to leave your NXT comments in that feedback request. You can vote over on the Wrestling Daze Opinions channel for what you thought about this show. I think this show was passable. I did like the reveal at the end, and we did get the return of Shotzi. Some of the in-ring action was fine, but if people was to say this was a very average show, I would struggle to disagree. So on we move. But as we said, we know we've got a good, juicy weekend ahead. So thanks for watching. Appreciate the support, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.